Are you around this week? Ahoy, sexy.
That is actually very gay.
Am I nautically sensual?
You're funny.
Lev didn't laugh at any of my jokes.
You were so funny.
Previously on the show, we've done all three of Greta Gerwig's directorial projects: Lady Bird, Little Women, and the Barbie movie. Tonight we're going back in time to 2013 to talk about Frances Ha, the first film that Greta Gerwig co-wrote and starred in with her future husband, Noah Baumbach, directing.
It's that thing when you're with someone and you love them and they know it and they love you and you know it, but it's a party and you're both talking to other people and you're laughing and shining and you look across the room and...
Back in 2007, Greta had co-wrote and starred in Hannah Takes the Stairs, although, like many films in the so-called mumblecore movement, the dialogue of the film was largely improvised. The basic details of Greta Gerwig's life have been pretty immortalized on screen at this point, both with Lady Bird, where she tells a fictional version of a story about an angsty girl growing up middle class in Sacramento, California, with loving parents but ones who didn't quite get her, and her desire to move to New York City to pursue a creative life, which she did, going to Barnard College, dorming with Kate McKinnon, and after being rejected from several playwriting programs, settling on becoming an actress. She was also a dancer and had originally wanted to do a degree in musical theater, but ended up getting her degrees in English and philosophy. She was cast in Joe Swanberg's LOL and the Duplass brothers' Baghead, which led to a creative relationship with Joe Swanberg that made Hannah Takes the Stairs, and then Nights and Weekends. In both cases, she got to both write and direct.
Up until 27, everyone says, "You're so young, you've got so much time." And then all of a sudden you're 27 and everyone's like, "Wow."
Still at this point, 25, she was drifting through life in New York and became extremely depressed, working as a nanny and a tutor to make ends meet and afford rent. In 2010, she was cast in Greenberg by Noah Baumbach, who co-wrote that film with his then-wife, Jennifer Jason Leigh. She also got cast in Woody Allen's To Rome with Love, as well as starring in Whit Stillman's Damsels in Distress. After Greenberg, she and Baumbach began passing ideas back and forth for what would become Frances Ha, the story of a woman stuck at 27, having finished college at Vassar, with no idea of what to do next, stuck in this strange world between college and being a full adult.
You want to hear something hilarious?
Yes,
Lev thinks we're gonna end up married.
I'm too tall to marry.
You are.
That's so funny. Why does he think that?
I did want to sleep with you when I first met you. But now, totally undateable.
Starring Greta Gerwig, Adam Driver, Michael Zegen, Mickey Sumner as Frances's best friend Sophie, Grace Gummer, and Charlotte T.M. Boyce. At the beginning of the movie, Frances lives with her best friend Sophie. They have an extremely intimate kind of friendship that girls get between high school and adulthood, where they're virtually inseparable. But Sophie, who has an adult job at a publishing house, essentially breaks up with Frances to move into a nicer apartment and then get serious with her boyfriend Patch, throwing Frances' entire world upside down. The movie is really great. It relishes these deeply uncomfortable moments as Frances attempts to connect with the people she meets, many of whom are at different stages of life and don't get her at all. And in that way, it captures something really real. She's aging out of the time frame where she can join her dance company. Money is a real struggle for her, but because this is New York in the 2010s, it slowly dawns on her that it's not for the people around her.
Lev and I were talking about getting a maid to come once a week.
A maid?
Yeah, it's not that expensive. It's like $400 a month.
Do you know that I'm actually poor?
You aren't poor. There are poor people. You aren't one of them.
She moves in with Adam Driver's Lev Shapiro and Michael Zegan's Benji after Sophie moves out. And there's this line where she says, "I thought we were all actually poor." But both guys actually have rich parents who help subsidize their lifestyles. By her relationship with Patch, who works at Goldman, Sophie is also leaving Frances' authentically broke class strata. So this movie has a lot to say about class, in this time period where class actually starts to rear its head in a real way. Now alienating it can feel to actually struggle and realize that people around you are actually just pretending to struggle. The alienation of this movie really peaks at a point where Frances takes a trip to Paris alone on a credit card, and then ends up sleeping for most of the trip after taking a sleeping pill, and misses the call back from her college friend who lives in Paris.
The one moment that reliably makes me laugh the most is that moment when she's in Paris and she goes to the movie theater and asks them about Puss in Boots. Because I feel like it just totally captures a very particular feeling of being lost in a foreign city, having this romantic idea of what your experience is going to be, and then the reality of it, just being bored and eating some terrible restaurant and then going to see Puss in Boots. So did you sort of start with moments like that and then try to build scenes around them, or how did that work?
Just because it's my favorite line in the movie, because I think it's the saddest line of all time. It's not even, it's when did Puss in Boots start? She's not even gonna see it from the beginning. It's halfway through. It's like so tragic. It was, I mean, we did have like the when did Puss in Boots start, and then we did have we wanted her to be eating at the wrong bistro, but then we put her in a McDonald's and it was too sad. It was like, no, can't put her in French McDonald's. That's just too depressing.
The sequence where Frances goes home to Sacramento. Greta Gerwig's real family plays her movie family, adding to this authenticity. Noah Baumbach was very inspired by French New Wave. You see that not just in the choice to make the film grainy and black and white, but for the uncomfortable lingering on these characters, often very tight shots, and the choice to make an extremely honest film about youth. Towards the end of the film, Frances must take the humiliating choice to pay off her France credit card by working at Vassar College, Poughkeepsie represent, by being an RA and working at the receptions for visiting donors and important people, which is followed by a high note where Frances is working at the Dance Academy office and puts her own choreography out there. Before I introduce the panel, please like this video and subscribe to the Movie Night Extravaganza YouTube channel. Then hit that bell to get notified whenever we're streaming. Super chats are now open. If you have any pressing questions, send us a super chat, which helps me maintain the expenses for the show, in which I am obligated by the rules of the Geneva Convention to stop everything and ask the panel. Another way to help us out is to become a patron and give us money every month. In exchange, you get access to all of our after parties, bonus content, and we'll tell you even more movies we watched recently. Patreon.com/Movie Night Extra. We have a Movie Night Extravaganza Discord. There's an invite link in the episode description, and we have a Letterboxd HQ account. So those are 2 more places to follow along with us. Okay, let me introduce the illustrious panel. We are live right now on This Space. If you aren't following them, join This Space TV on YouTube. Link below. Conan Neutron is the co-host and senior producer for Movie Night Extravaganza, host of Protonic Reversal, an independent Film Critics of America film critic, and the frontman for the band Conan Neutron and the Secret Friends. Check out his music at neutronfriends.bandcamp.com. Kristina Oakes is a co-host of Movie Night Extravaganza, a streamer on Twitch, twitch.tv/cosmopolitics, a host at This Space, hosting Kristina's Corner, and is across social media at Cosmopolitics and on Letterboxd at Kristina. Marta Djordjevic, aka Marta McFly, is an author, writer, and podcast host who is a member of the Cascadia Film and Television Critics Association, the host of Rewind and Revive, and the former host of McFly's Movie House. I, of course, am your host and an undateable New York original back in the USA after a week in Montreal. Did you know Border Patrol confiscates oranges and grapefruits from Canada? Forrest Miller. Should I text back starboard anal sex?
Fantastic. Love it.
I tried to do the last name.
How quotable is this movie, by the way? And the answer is a lot.
All of it.
Yeah.
There's so many great lines. By the way, Marta, welcome back. It's so great to have you.
It's always nice to be back. I'm so happy we're covering this movie. It's one of my favorite comfort movies. So
and it was in your draft. It made it pretty far along. I don't remember the actual position, but yeah, it's definitely like, this is a fun movie. I think what we were doing, kicking and screaming, right? When we first talked, we should do Frances Ha.
Yeah.
And that was like a long time ago.
That was with Chris. That now does our
Chris Williams, who does all our art. That's right.
Our beautiful graphics, who drew the very, very intricate picture of Greta Gerwig for this.
Yeah, that's great. This is an awesome movie. I feel like this is kind of like the getting your ice cream, compared to like some of the stuff we cover. like it's very, very like an easy, but it's a complicated movie. And I'm curious, Marta, what drew you to Frances Ha? Originally, like when did you see it? When did you first engage with it?
I think think I saw it first in maybe 2019, 2020, somewhere there. And the interesting thing is initially I didn't love it as much as I do now. I liked it. I thought it was a good movie. But weirdly enough, it resonates more with me as I get older. And now I'm older than Frances. I'm 32. And it hit me at this point the most probably, especially by the end. Like I started tearing up and that hasn't happened. I've seen it maybe 5-6 times now. It's just, I don't know. It's a coming of age that shows that we're always kind of coming of age.
It's interesting that she was 25, like writing the script for this with Noah Baumbach. Like, and then by the time the movie was over, like by the time they released it, I think she was 27 or 28. But it's like she actually wasn't 27 writing this. Like,
Yeah.
Well, and it works to some of that stuff. Like it's interesting you mentioned Ladybird in the intro for us because that's definitely an antecedent to this, and a coming of age story that is like what we more traditionally think of as a coming of age story. But we don't see as many of them that are like the mid to late 20s coming of age. And I know it's the third rail of moviedom to invoke the name of Woody Allen, but there are some exceptions, and some of those are some of that guy
Who's
best
that?
work. Yeah, they're directed by nobody, these movies. Annie Hall, Manhattan, I don't even know who directed them, but we don't see those kinds of films anymore. We see them like within indie cinema now and again, right? But this is one of the better examples of like sort of that mid-20s like figuring it out kind of movie of the last like 10 at least 10 years, if not 15,
like mid-century life crisis or something like that in a way.
Sure, yeah. And I agree. I like this. I really enjoyed it first time I saw it, but I really liked it this time. I was like, oh wow. And I think part of it's just you get into like Noah Baumbach's very naturalistic with dialogue. You know, that's kind of like the thing that he's known for. And there is a certain cadence to this that can be a little off-putting if you don't know what you're getting into or like what it is.
Yo, Pappy.
But I was way locked in on it this time, and I think it all works. But I also get it when like people find it off-putting or it's not their thing. Great, there's all kinds of stuff I don't like, you know. But I think it's so poignant and it's so real, and Greta carries this, man. She really like it all works because of like this incredible performance she does. It's really wonderful.
The cadence between the two, between Frances and Sophie, because the cadence changes, right? Like a lot of the characters have a different, like on purpose, like a different cadence to the way that they speak. Like I think Lev and Benji kind of have their own like shorthand kind of, and Frances has her own with Sophie. But like, I don't know. There's like certain people that like certain girls that have been like really close that I've been friends with, like both of them, and you like they're in and out of that cadence, and people get that kind of rhythm to the way that they talk when they spend that much time with each other, and you almost feel like you're watching it from the outside, because obviously like you can't really keep up with like the cadence that people come up with after like that much friendship or that much time spent together.
Well, you have your own language. Pretty much. You know,
it's very real, I think. Like the movie is just so true to adult female friendships. I mean, I can safely say probably I've never related to an on-screen character more than I do Frances.
There really aren't a lot of depictions of adult female friendships in movies that I can think of that don't have like some like weird twist to them. Because that's there's no space aliens, there's no action sequences. I mean, there's action sequences, but not the way that you might imagine. And I think that's something that makes this so strong too, is you really get a sense of that the connection that the two of them have. That is that deep connection that I feel like gets harder and harder as you get older. Ask me how I know. But it's something that it's relatable, right? It's either something you have had in the past, it's something that you are in process of and you aren't going to recognize until it's gone, or it's something that is in your future.
Well, tackling it as if it's like a relationship, like, I mean, like a platonic friend related, but like, they break up, like it is.
They do, yeah.
Like a relationship kind of breakup, and like just allowing that to sit with you and not feeling like you have to, take that and go, no, this is like feeling like you have to quantify that, I guess, right? Like feeling like you have to be like, just so you know, this is platonic. These are friends, not like, just allowing it to sit with you and allowing it to actually feel those same emotions. that you would have in that moment, which are similar to a breakup. If you stop hanging out with like a best friend that you've hung out with nonstop for any amount of time, like it does feel like that. Like you start to miss that person, and it's like it's almost like I don't know. It really is like a breakup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I think it's also so telling that the biggest monologue of the film is about them. And if you were to tune in and listen to that monologue without any context whatsoever, you'd think that it was romantic, right? About a romantic partner, but
and she thinks it is. I mean, like in her head, like
yeah. I remember for me, once it clicked for me, like later on when the moment actually happens to them across the room, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. This is what she was talking about.
Yeah, and that's I think all that counts a lot. I think, and it makes the movie interesting in a way that you kind of have to. Yeah, I kind of have to be willing to delve a little deeper into it though, because there's more depth to it than Outside Surfaces, which does a great job of showing like just the facile ridiculousness of like mid-20s. We'll call it charitably working poor life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which nobody on this stream can relate to, I'm sure. But
I'm living up in my $1.23 million mansion over here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what are you talking about? It does such a great job of that, but there is way more to that, and I kind of feel sorry for people that only engage with it like, oh, I can't relate to these New York hipsters. Like, okay, well, first of all, do you watch the entire movie? Secondly,
Adam Driver's fedora.
Oh god. Oh god.
I mean, but also too, you think about
fedora.
2012 is like the peak of like the hipster like life.
yeah.
Well, that fedora is something you could only wear in 2012,
Dude, I think at that year you were like issued one. I think. Right?
Yeah.
I think they handed it to you and you walked in the door.
Doesn't he wear one in another Noah Baumbach film?
I want to say he does, and he's in Annette, which we're doing later this month. Mm-hmm. And I started thinking about, it's been a while since I've seen Annette too, that I was like, wow, I wonder if this is like his secret origin story in Annette, where he's sort of like a men's right activist, stand-up comic. Because I don't know, anytime I see fedora, man, it's just hard. Look, unless it's the 1940s, it's kind of hard for me to like not think you're a douchebag. Sorry, peace and love to fedora.
Libertarians, man, they really hijacked that hat.
I think of this movie as the Kylo Ren origin story.
Yeah.
But like I like that, Adam, like if we're talking about Adam Driver, like his Lev Shapiro character, which all right, like of course they're like who Lev Shapiro's dad is, and it's like, yeah, with a name like Lev Shapiro, I feel like your dad has to be like a big gallery owner or something. Like,
yeah,
but like I feel like the fact that Adam Driver also has the same kind of relationship with Benji, who, like as he gets more kind of like infatuated with Frances, he gets like gayer, which is kind of funny. Like he almost starts acting like her Sophie in a way, or trying to, at least, like trying to fill that role for her in like a platonic way, because obviously she's never gonna. Well, I mean, maybe, like, I don't know. At the end of the movie,
in a platonic and kind of passive-aggressive way,
yeah,
too. But that is totally a thing. Like, I was around people that did that. I'm like, what are you doing? Do you not know how to engage earnestly with like anybody? Like, what is?
Yeah.
Are you doing a shtick? Yeah. I can't tell.
It's funny that like when they're in the restaurant and she gets the check, which we got to talk about that sequence. But when they're in the restaurant together, he answers the phone and he says that Benji is his Sophie. But I feel like Benji is definitely more his Frances, and he's like the Sophie character, because he's he's way more together, I think, than Benji is. He's like getting drunk in in his boxers and like watching movies, and I love the line where he's.
What are you talking about? He's going to be on SNL unless he decides it's over the hill.
Yeah, I love that line. And then clearly it didn't work out at SNL, whatever the fuck he was making up with. And I love that he goes, it's really gone downhill. And
yeah. Oh yeah. That's it. That's the reason why. Right. Sure. Yeah, I'm sure the chocolate really makes the golden ticket really makes the chocolate taste bad. Yeah.
Oh god.
Okay.
But it's like, I don't know, like one of the things in this movie that really like insidiously creeps up on you at the same time it does for Frances is like the realization that she's broke and they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Or like,
yes,
right. And neither is
and
Sophie.
he starts lecturing her about, well, you're not really broke.
Yeah.
And it's like, Bitch, neither are you. What do you want?
That was like me and my group of friends growing up, because like all my friends had like rich parents, and I would know this because they would have stacks of Christmas presents in every fucking room of the house, and I'm over here like, I got a few things for Christmas. Like, I always felt so insecure and embarrassed. Like, it's like they could throw these lavish parties in middle school and high school, and then I'm like, we're save up, we try to have fun, take us to Chili's or something like that.
It was such a New York in the 2010s thing, though. Like, nobody wants to like. It's the same thing. Like, everybody makes fun of like nepo babies and stuff, but like nobody wants to be acknowledged for having rich parents. But like, if you're in the city, there's a like, it's true. The line that Sophie says,
I made sure that I reminded them that they did.
No, but like when Sophie says like, you're a rare one because you're an artist that actually is poor as fuck.
Yeah,
like that's such a real thing. Like, I don't know, like, 'cause, like, growing up, my mom was an artist and like had a studio in the city like before she got married, and like had me and my brother, and like she had her artist, like she had her artist studio, and like my grandma was pretty well off, but my mom was like my mom was like a girl bossing for a little bit there, and like had like this really nice studio. She tells me stories all the time about like all the people that she kind of interacted with, either at galleries or like in that world. And it's like, it's so true that like, I don't know, like nobody can afford to be an artist in New York City unless they're already rich coming into it. Like, it's
and have
so
connections to help build from that too.
Well, and you think about it in terms of when people have these esoteric, I'm a painter. Oh yeah, okay, good for you. How's he paying this rent? He's a painter. Jesus Christ. Even like look, man, I'm a musician. Like, it ain't much better. You know what I'm saying? And I get it when people don't want, like, there's a great derivation like what at the party about, I forget the phrasing, but it's basically like, what do you do? Like,
it's horrible. That whole scene. Oh.
Which is so like, oh God, because like anyone that does anything creative, like that's the last thing you want to hear, because you don't define yourself by like what you're doing to like pay the power bill. Like, like it's not what defines you, and it's such a reductive question that in our society is just something that's so normalized that like, oh, that's a thing that you just ask in that specific way. And it's actually one of the first times I've seen that addressed in a movie, that like there's any questioning of it. You know what I mean?
And she's clearly she's trying to pass herself off in a lot of these scenes. Like, we see her alone a lot, and she's not doing it, but she's always trying to pass herself off as an adult, which is something that's so relatable. Like in that space when you're in that transitional period, and there really isn't like that many movies about the transitional period between like college and then being an actual functional adult. I mean, not that who knows when people actually transition.
Their Satan was fired, but
well, and being a dancer specifically, it's either going to be like The Red Shoes or Black Swan or like nothing else. Like, it's just not something you don't ever get to see people that maybe they're good but not good enough to be in the troupe, and so they like join the front office, they become an RA, like whatever. Like, this is all like new stuff that like, it's not exciting to portray those things in the same way that and this is going to seem like a weird analogy, but Green Room being for bands where it's like, oh yeah, of course, there are punk rock bands that would be at that level. That's like, I know them, I have been them. And like, that has just something that has never been portrayed on screen, which is one of the secret reasons why that movie is fantastic. But it is the same sort of thing that we're used to seeing a success story. People are temporarily embarrassed superstars. And that's not what's happening here. She has a different journey. And I think that's so powerful.
Yeah. And I like that it doesn't, at the end of it, like, it's not really resolved. Like, it's not like at the end of it, you're like, wow, she's certainly a functional adult now.
Accomplished. Let's go.
She did a show. It was fine. Her friend showed up. Right on. You could, that's good. But like, it's not like
Benji showed up. He clearly wanted to fuck. Like,
oh yeah, clearly Benji was.
Well, it's even the same way for people who want to make it as content creators. It's like, I've been posting more on TikTok, and it's amazing what like my algorithm showing me like what you need to do. It's like, no, it's all about luck and having connections, having someone more important, bigger than you to platform you and push your content could also help. It's all about the connections and stuff like that. So it's funny when I see like the sloppiest stuff do well, and then like stuff that's more organized, professional.
Oh yeah.
Don't do well. I'm like,
The more inane, the better.
You have to cringe your way to the top.
I won't.
Cringe your way to the top.
Hard pass. Marta, what do you think about literally all that, the last 10 minutes of whatever we're doing on the show?
Yeah, no, that was great. That was the main thing that I kind of picked up on during this rewatch was just how well, yet indirectly or subtly, I should say, like the whole film tackles class and the illusion of creative freedom. And I thought that was really cool because it's always said in passing, like little side comments. And I mean, class ultimately defines who gets to be a mess, right? While chasing their dreams.
Right,
so she's stuck in this between of like being kind of independent and then the reality that the actual system and the people that she's surrounding with is just so different from what she's experiencing, right? Like Benji, what's Adam Driver's character name again?
Lev Shapiro.
Yes, Lev Shapiro, and even Sophie to a degree too. Like all of this is just sharp commentary on how privilege complicates the narrative of just follow your passion.
Well, and
by the way, if you're getting bored in Tokyo, you're doing Tokyo wrong.
Yes.
As someone who has not been there, I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. Call it. That's the one piece of BS. I almost made that my entire review, but I'm too substantive for that. I was like, I
bored
in Tokyo.
I assume she's doing the Sofia Coppola.
Exactly. Yeah, right.
I assume that's her life in Tokyo, to be honest. Like,
just cold kicking in like a very clinical looking hotel.
Yeah.
The cinematography being black and white also adds another layer to this story, I think.
Yeah, and isn't that interesting? I don't know the answer to like if it was conceived that way. I mean, because to me it makes me think like Manhattan or something.
Yeah,
the movie, not the city. Well, the city too.
It's like a documentarian style way of like this film. Like it's because you're learning about like what her life is like and like the ups and downs and her struggle of like in being an adult. Because again, like you point out, Conan, we don't see many movies of like people after college trying to make it. What are they doing? Like everyone thinks that once you graduate college, you're set. You got your life figured out. You got your shit together. No, I'm having a century life crisis right now. Like screw the midlife. We see plenty of midlife crisis films. What about those of us in our 20s and 30s who still haven't figured out?
Don't worry, it goes well beyond the 30s too.
Yay!
I mean, yeah, I think that the black and white during this entire process, like Noah Baumbach was going through like a really intense Truffaut thing. So
that's what I was thinking.
He was going through
real heavy Truffaut. Like, that's a good call.
To the point where like and I don't know exactly when their like relationship started up and when I don't know the exact timeline, but when they're talking to Greta Gerwig, like when they were introducing this movie a bunch of times, and like it was either her and Noah or just her going around and like introducing it at different places. She's like, yeah, he was watching like French new wave cinema just nonstop throughout this entire period, and then he tries to like downplay it to be like, yeah, I could see that, I could see the, and it's like, dude, I watched the other interviews, like you clearly were watching Truffaut just. It's like gender swapped. That song.
That's true.
Yeah,
it's like gender swapped stolen kisses and been bored, right?
I also thought
and Linklater too, who of course is also Truffaut inspired.
Which by association, I thought of Romer, particularly My Night at Mons.
Sure. Oh, hell yeah, absolutely, yeah. Well, and also I've read another movie with female agency that. So take of that what you will.
It could also be, I mean, just seeing New York in black and white, it's going to be less sort of romanticized than what we're used to with movies where New York is the main character. So maybe it's kind of almost like
just like my life,
unresolved.
Yeah, is Pizza Rat make an appearance? I don't know. We'll see. But I think it's something that there's a very interesting austerity to it. There's a very obviously, look, anyone that's like engaging with the show is probably into movies, one can imagine. And we are the people that are like, oh, black and white, cool, instead of black and white, which,
know what's funny?
AKA Ted Turner. Thank you. Ted Turner, everybody. That's the joke.
You know what's funny, though, is that Forrest downplaying, like Noah Baumbach downplaying, like the French New Wave inspiration for. His son is literally named after Eric Romer.
Are you kidding me? Really?
Yes.
Who's?
That
Baumbach?
one. I'm like, yes, that guy. He named his son after probably his favorite French director.
Wow.
And I'm like,
really?
Playing French. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Because I'm looking up his relation with Jennifer Jason Leigh.
All right.
because he cheated on her with
yeah.
Greta. So like, there's a lot of history there.
Possibly, allegedly,
Yeah, don't come after us, Noah. We like you.
I mean,
but like, come on, dude. Like, stop trying to downplay your influence French New Wave cinema has on your life. Okay, just embrace it.
The Squid and the Whale, and we're the Squid, and Noah Baumbach's the
Whale. That's wild. So their son's named Romer. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, actually, all right. I guess wrap it all up, folks. We figured it all out. That's amazing.
Only we could have figured this out. No one else. That's why we're the best movie podcast out there.
Exactly. Well, and that's one of the reasons why we talked about it on Barbie, right? We talked about all the production design stuff and how it was like, referencing like Tati and Playtime, as well as like Umbrellas of Cherbourg and like all this other, stuff that luckily it was one of the few times that in like the monoculture, I think was it HBO Max it was streaming on, they actually had like, hey, we got all these films that they're talking about and you can see them. Did anyone watch them? Yeah. I don't know. But I was like really psyched that they managed to pull that off. Because I was like, wow, that's something you should do if you end up in the zeitgeist for something popular.
They should do HBO Max really should have kept doing that, because it's like, like with Sinners or other films, especially that come out this year since Warner Brothers doing so well. They should do that, like, they talk about all these different films that inspired this big blockbuster hit. Well, here you go. Here they're all in one setting that you can watch.
Yeah, I mean,
really cool.
It just reminds me of, and again, early this week, yesterday, like 24 hours ago, I was on Afternoon Tune talking about Spinal Tap, because there's the impending Spinal Tap 2 that's coming out. And Spinal Tap is one of my favorite movies.
Two Tap.
Yes.
And I was thinking about... That's idiotic.
Really should have called it that.
That is so dumb. It stopped my flow of thought, by the way. But I have the DVD. They reissued on DVD, not even Blu-ray, DVD, and the commentary. They do a commentary where they're in character, and it's basically a whole nother movie, because they do the whole and I was thinking about, like, God, this is so great. And it's so great because I love this movie so much. It's just hearing more of this is like awesome. But we've really lost that sensibility with the downfall of physical media, if you will. And that's a different show entirely. But it was definitely a recent example of like, wow, it sucks that you don't have that. Here's our vision board for Barbie. Here's the Leos Carax Mauvais song sequence that inspired, which we'll get to in a minute. But
that's why they do so many different like variety and all this. They do all these deals like, let's break down a scene from this movie and do this and do that. That's like their way of
but that's not
making up for it. But it's not the same though. I like the commentary. I like how they have fun and joke around and stuff like that and go on tangents for like 15 minutes when they should be focusing on the movie.
I love the commentaries and they have where it's just like dudes clearly just high as fuck and then like they're like talking through the whole
drunk
movie. I think that I also lost my train of thought on that one. But like I think that this movie, like the black and white of it all, it's fun. Like I don't think this is on purpose, but like because 2012 had such a like specifically hipster fashion sense, like it kind of it's in like this time capsule, which like I really like. I think that time period is hilarious. Like I think you could mine so much amazing comedy out of like 2012, 2011 because things were just
the
so,
hats.
Yeah, just the hat, but also like I don't know, just the sensibility of it all. Like it was such a weird time where like culture was doing all this weird, like I don't know, like everyone was talking about like recently there was a whole like discourse about like stomp clap music, which was right from that period where it's like the hey ho luminary kind of stuff.
I mean, it looks great on you, yeah.
Just that cultural sensibility is just. I don't know. It's just so like it was.
We were
so
a dark
time.
World peace. We were so close to world peace. We had Gangnam Style. We had the Harlem Shake. We could have solved world peace when we had those movements happening.
Were those the cultural signifiers? I missed that memo.
And yes,
that's also been there. Like within that time period, Vine showed up, and then it was like the proto TikTok.
Yeah, Musically. Oh boy,
Tumblr.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know where to go with all that. So actually, yes, I do.
Frances Halladay and Sophie probably both had like crazy Tumblrs.
Totally.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole black and white thing, I mean, I feel like I went so poetic in a different angle than like what you guys are saying, and what you guys are saying makes more sense. Like for me, it was like, it's a love letter to New York, but written in pencil.
Something that you have on a Tumblr.
Well, right. So, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I
Right.
am Frances.
But how many reviews are like, well, New York is a main character in this? I mean, God, even saying that, we're like, oh, God, there it goes again. New York is a main character. All right, we get it.
But it is a good example of that, I will say.
But it totally is at the same time. But maybe the idea of like, but doing it in black and white, because again, other than literal Manhattan, the movie, directed by nobody, I can't think of any other black and white movies that are like from even remotely them. I mean, there's all the Jim Jarmusch early stuff, right? But I mean, that's like, you just don't see a lot of it. So it's a way to look at things differently. And I don't know, it's interesting to have done on black and white. I agree.
Was Sweet Smell of Success in New York? It was, right? That just came to mind as another.
Yeah, we just did that.
Definitely is because we talked about like the New York lifestyle that they're they're doing within that. It's like the New York as a character, right? Like I feel like Squid and the Whale is another like Baumbach movie where
I haven't seen that in so long. That's the Baumbach movie I saw. It's the first one I saw, but it's like it's been so long. Like I barely remember.
I avoided seeing it for the longest time because I was like, oh,
relatable.
It's a guy from Brooklyn whose parents get divorced. I don't know anything about that story. Like,
I don't need to watch that movie. I know what it is.
But the character of New York within that is it's a very different, and it's also Brooklyn. Like it's Park Slope within Squid and the Whale. Like it feels like a very different Brooklyn though than the one in Frances Halladay.
With New York as a character, what do you got? I think I remember reading. I forgot. They said like the
best
movie on New York was New York, directed by Martin Scorsese. I'm like, wasn't that like a bomb though? Was that like not well received back then when it came out? Like I know it's got the song, but like I'm like, really? That's the best movie.
I spread in the news. I'm leaving
today. Yeah. I supposed to be a better movie about. I feel like this movie is actually the best, like New York as a character, because it's all about the experience of like someone in New York trying to, make it. Like, come on now.
The best non-Woody Allen movie.
Yeah,
I love. I mean, Manhattan's also, like Annie Hall. Like
Annie Hall too.
Yeah, whatever the fuck.
The King of Manhattan. Woody Allen.
Whatever Woody Allen.
New York as a character.
Like it's just I don't know. There's so like those movies feel like they were extremely formative to living as like a neurotic. I mean, no, I'm not Jewish, but feeling that
and
level.
You're not
of neurotic,
someone who. Never mind.
Like, I don't know. I just the psyche of like kind of having incredibly neurotic tendencies as like a as a kid, and watching Woody Allen was like a revelation. It's like I was like, holy fuck! There's a genre of this. I might not.
People like me.
Yeah, exactly. It's a representation. I want to talk about the the general usage of "Modern Love" by David Bowie, which is great. One of my favorite songs. The music direction here is A+. We'll talk about it as well, I'm sure, when we talk about the France scene. But "Modern Love" specifically, there's a running scene that I have been.
I thought that was Conan Neutron saying, "Oh, it's time for movie night."
In the intro, right. The one that everybody knows that just debuted tonight.
Yeah.
But that running scene, which is great, it's elegiac, it's great. You get to see her pull some dance moves. It works so well for the character. It's so intrinsic to the plot at the moment in time. But it is an homage to a Léos Carax movie called Ma Voisin, which literally Bad Blood, that came out in 1986. That's very different. That I actually finally watched because we're doing another Carax movie later this month with Annette, and I was like, wow, I've never seen this movie that I reference literally all the time because I saw it like a film class once, right? And so there's a video that has it as a side by side, and I don't know. I'm gonna imagine we get a copyright strike if we actually have the song playing, so I'll turn the volume down. But
wait, David Bowie. This is a song I sang.
That's fine. It's fine. We don't need. If you get to see
love.
Start spreading the news.
All right. Come on. I'm doing serious fucking film commentary here. Come on. But it's interesting because they're used for very different purposes, and they're used in very different ways. And it's so clearly an homage. And when asked about it, Baumbach even said, like, yes, that's exactly what it is. Of course it is.
Yeah.
They set the same song to like someone running at like a key pivotal emotional moment of the scene. And it's funny to have them side by side, because when I first saw Frances Ha, I was like, I've seen this before. What did I see this in before? And it was killing me because I just couldn't remember what it was. And then I was like, oh, it's that Carax movie. And the reason why is because it's like shamelessly out of print. You have to go like Internet Archive to see it, right? Like it's like, I think Holy Motors is generally available, but like most of his early work, like Lovers on the Bridge, is not. But it's fine. I saw it. It's great. It's a very weird movie. It's very different than Frances Ha. But like, I love that there was just like this cinematic homage that exists within the context of the movie. Like, that's a cool scene. That's an incredibly emotional scene. Like, I remember first time seeing that and being almost moved to tears and be like, I don't know anything about this character. I don't know why he's running. I don't know where he's going, but like, this is incredible. This is just an incredible pairing. Incredible pairing of music and film. And like one of those things that like it's used as a shorthand for why the art form matters and why it can touch people. And I think that's rad. And I think Modern Love, I mean, it's over the credits too. Like, it's also a great tune, by the way. Great 80s era Bowie tune. But I just think that was so interesting, and I wanted to throw that up for the people that maybe were not familiar with an obscure art house French director.
So they set it to Modern Love, and then my understanding, at least, I mean, this might not be like the exact story because it was a while ago when I saw this clip, but my understanding is that they saw the price tag on Modern Love and then kind of balked and went like, can we pick something that's not a David Bowie song to have it running to? But like, they tried song after song after song, nothing worked. So finally they sprang for the royalties. But like, I mean, I don't even want to fucking speculate about how much it costs to put a David Bowie song, or at least, you know, in 2012, especially when he was like alive, like how much it costs to put a David Bowie song in your movie. Like, I feel like if I saw that number, I'd probably, you know, pass out. Like,
it makes the movie though. I mean,
it's
arguable that it's not the same movie without it, and that's I mean, I think that's incredible. And it's and there's a big the new Kogonada movie. God, what is it? It's got a very long. It's got Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell in it, and it's got a very long title. Do you remember what the title is, Kristina?
Something beautiful.
It's like a long, beautiful, blah blah blah. Long, beautiful title.
Yeah.
a big, bold, beautiful.
Very long, beautiful title.
All right, enough.
That's crazy. It's crazy we said that at the same time.
I know.
Is it crazy?
Big, bold, beautiful journey.
A big, bold, beautiful journey. Okay, great.
Big, bountiful. Never mind.
Big, bountiful boobs.
Yeah.
Order in the court. Apparently, it's about to come out, and this is a studio picture, and apparently they've been swapping the music out. Like, and there's like some behind the scenes like drama of that. This movie's been done for a while, and the studio's like, no, we got to use this music instead, and they're changing it around, which is abjectly horrifying for someone like myself, who's a musician, but should be horrifying for anyone. Where it's like, okay, so whether you thought After Yang and Columbus were incredible or not, it's like this guy is very deliberate in how he makes his movies. You're just gonna swap things in and out like it's like a freaking Mad Lib.
They ended up with "Hey Ho" by the Lumineers. How did that?
There you go. All right. So anyway, that has nothing to do with Frances Ha, other than the fact that I think the usage of Modern Love, it was worth the price tag. I think it absolutely. And again, even if that homage to a much more esoteric and lesser known director and lesser known film, it's great. I mean, because it's not rip-offy. You know what I mean? It's not rip-offy.
They also use the
Weather Heights movie that's coming out. Can't wait.
They use from like Lehman Frizz, like the Camille, the song that Camille has in that movie, where it's da 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 da, the Godard movie, like you know, they have that within a part of this, and like that's on like pretty much every soundtrack that they're like Frances Ha soundtrack playlist or whatever, and you're also like, okay, dude, you were fist deep in in French New Wave cinema. Like, don't try to.
Yeah, like don't deny it, dude. That's what I like about like when Spotify, when a movie comes down, Spotify's like, here's a playlist. Like when they did the Barbie movie, it's like, why is The Edge with Rakim a song? Oh, it sounds like a Ken song. If he's walking down, feeling good about himself.
I'm just Ken.
Like, yeah. So that's why
and I get up again. Thank you.
That's why I'm wondering what the Frances Ha would playlist would
I really like when like, and not many directors do this, but like a lot of times like directors will like pick a playlist and give it to like their actors, and then later they'll like sometimes they'll like publish the playlist, and it's like I feel like
the character.
I feel like if I was an actor, which I feel like I would really like, I would benefit from that kind of thing, because I like that like connection to whatever, like you have to immerse yourself in it.
Chrome Sitar, T-Rex. Blue Sway, Paul McCartney, of course, Modern Love. Hot Chocolate, Everyone's a Winner.
Which okay, so let's that's the keystone song for the Paris sequence, which we need to address as its own topic, right? Yes. Can we all agree with that?
Yes.
Marta, what are your thoughts on the Paris sequence? Like,
well, it actually ties in really well with the Modern Love sequence, kind of. I was thinking about that when I was watching it last night, where I was trying to pay attention, because I think you and I were talking about the Modern Love sequence last week or something. And that's why I'm asking you, what was the context in the Kara film?
So it's unrequited. Yeah, it's an unrequited crush on Isabella Rossellini's character. Hard relatable. A character that is has some physical ailments.
You're gonna have to fight it out with Kyle MacLachlan for that one, though.
Who has some physical ailments, but is going on a heist to steal a cure for this ailment that causes horrific pain in people who have sex without love. It's a weird movie. but
I meant more so the actual moment.
Yeah, the actual moment is he's deciding whether or not he's going to go see her, hears the song, and then decides, yes, I am, and basically decides he wants to do it as quickly as possible. And it works so well because of the physicality of that performer. Dennis Laurent, who's in like a ton of Karak stuff. He's in a ton of, and he used to be a circus performer, I guess. So that's why he's so like physical and like doing all this like crazy stuff. And the camera's like trying to keep up with him and like almost can't at one point. And like, and that's one of the reasons that makes it such an exciting sequence. But yeah, it's cool, but it's a weird movie. Like it is like it's Frances Ha is many things. Weird is not one of them. It's just sort of like, oh no, it's just like, 20s kind of drama. It's very
trying to decide whether to see her, and then Modern Love comes on, like, you got it. Like,
yeah, it's exactly. You got to. It's
okay, well, the reason why I was asking the context is because I think that, and I only understand this now, it took me a few watches, is that the Modern Love sequence in Frances Ha is a bit misleading, because I think that it is fake momentum personified. It happens right after she breaks up with Sophie, right? And she's like, where the hell am I going to live? Da, 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 da. And in the moment right before the running sequence, she decides she's going to live with the guys. So she's probably thinking, oh my gosh, like I figured it out. Like life is back to being great. I have a place. So fake momentum, right? Like she's almost dancing to delay the sort of inevitable that happens. The reason why I bring this up again before Paris is because for the Paris sequence, there's no music after she says that she's heading to Paris, and we get a similar shot of her walking down the street, and you'd think that would be the moment to put Modern Love. It's exciting, right? Like she's going to Paris, blah, 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 but it's totally different, right?
Yeah.
Completely happening in silence. So it's a really interesting contrast if you think about it in that sense.
There's like, there's like such a frustrating like thing to it too, where, I mean, number one, like the sequence where like the Modern Love plays, right? It's after like the kind of like weird performative moment where Adam Driver's like, do a little dance for us, like, and she's like, there's something almost, she's like a spectacle in their lives. Like they're these two rich boys that are constantly bored in their apartment or whatever, and like they need like, there's like a moment where Benji's like, I want someone to like make food and bring it to me. Like there's all these like
right, yeah.
strange like moments where he's almost like, I don't know, I think a lot of people are like this when they have a lot of money and don't know what the fuck they're doing with their lives, but like there's like an ownership of like everybody around him, and like this weird, I don't know, there's like this weird kind of void that this character represents. And it's like throughout that entire sequence, like I feel like she's almost like a dancing monkey for them in a weird way, where she gets all excited about making her like omelets or whatever, and then she truly believes that like they're all broke together, and like it's like, oh honey, like this is clearly not, these are not broke guys. And like I don't know, like even Sophie, when she comes into the apartment, she's like, this is a rich this is clearly a rich kid's apartment. Like she's like, no, it's magic. And like I feel like magic is almost like a classic defier for like like money, like like what she thinks is magic in this circumstance, because she's she's not poor, but she's like very middle class, and I think Benji and Lev Shapiro are very, very not middle class. And
well, so there's a naivete to it too, right? Like she's kind of assuming based on zero evidence other than like basically what some offhand dialogue that they're all kind of in the same boat. They're clearly not, right? Anybody that's been around knows that, but it's to be expected to a certain degree that not everyone's going to have the most cynical reaction to everything, right? So okay.
I don't know. There's moments I've had where it's like you realize that somebody is not from your class background. Yeah. And like it's like, and like sometimes
usually when you can't do something cool, and they're like, "What? Why?" And it's like, "Money."
But like people will like offhandedly be like, "Oh, I've taken a trip to this place, this place. Oh, and
how are you running around this much?
I lived in like this foreign country for a while." Like people will like kind of slip out of the conversation, and very slowly it'll dawn on you like, "Oh, you're you're doing the performative version of what I'm actually doing because I'm poor." But that's like a real thing. Like there's like, especially the 2010s, like nobody wants to be seen as rich. Like everybody wants to have a struggle. Everybody wants to say that they have a struggle, right? Nobody actually wants to struggle, but people want to appear like they've struggled. They don't want to appear like they have
they want to actually struggle. Yeah. I want to talk about the flying to France for the weekend sequence. Like we've mentioned on other shows that were not about this movie, so I think it's time to talk about that, right? Like, I mean, it's crazy, but it's so hilarious in this dark way where it's like, oh, honey, no, don't do that. What are you doing? For this meeting that like, it's like this meeting may not even go the way you think it's going to. Like it's not, but but she's built it up in her head to be this like, oh, this is my cinematic moment where it all comes together and this and that, and it's like, oh, it's not going to though. It's not going to.
She appears in the office and
don't be hopeful or optimistic. Be a realist. Be a realist.
And she's like, oh, I would have canceled. I almost canceled today, and it was like,
yeah, because I was had a cough or something, right?
But like, imagine if she had gotten back from France like after 2 days, and then her meeting got canceled. Like, I'm glad she had her meeting.
Well, you guys think her friend ghosted her and then purposely messaged? I was thinking about that. I'm like, did she do that thing that people sometimes do where they're like, I'm not going to reply until you're gone, and then be like, well, yeah.
Yeah, my thing was just that like her luck is just so bad in this. In this. Like, or maybe not even luck, like her choices, like the combination, I guess, of her choices and just throughout the movie, like nothing happens on a timeline where she expects it to or wants it to. And like, it just felt very natural.
Well, she barely has time to adjust to the time zone, before she's heading back. Yeah. And like before going to and I'm so glad you played the intro where in that interview she's talking about like, the movie's already started. She's not even like seeing like some classic cinema, but it's like the movie's already started.
But amazing. I love the no, don't put her in French McDonald's that Greta Gerwig says of that. Like that's too sad. And it's like, yes, if they had put her in French McDonald's, I think I would have stopped watching because I would have.
That would be Ari Aster directed Frances.
Actually,
Thank you. Ari Aster directing Frances Ha. That's the joke, everybody. You're welcome.
I have a friend who works in Hollywood. She does a lot of special effects stuff. She's like always like in the background and before a finished product. She knows Greta Gerwig because she worked on Barbie.
Oh, nice.
And she was telling me all these stories about how it's just awesome and down to earth Greta is, and how awesome Margot is, and all that. It's like, and I'm like, girl, hook me up. I'm like, I have
I host a movie show, right? Yeah, exactly.
Bring them over here. Let's go.
She doesn't I don't know. It doesn't get enough. I feel like attention. Like obviously, like her Greta Gerwig's like kind of acting career before she became a director obviously gets attention, but how much she actually did. Like how many films? Like I mean, talking about Woody Allen, like 2012, she was in From Rome with Love, the Woody Allen, the first time Woody Allen, appeared back on screen after it was the beginning, I think, of the whirlwind around his his stuff. But
that guy,
but, like,
that guy and his stuff, right?
And like she was she really worked up the ladder. And I remember I think everybody does, but like the mumblecore era, which is something that nobody who was
love
actually
it personally.
People are like, what's that? Did they mumble a lot? Is that what
it was?
Mumble rap.
It's like
rap era.
It's like grunge. Nobody who does it acknowledged the term. Or liked the term.
Yeah,
it's true. I like those movies though a lot.
Oh, same here, but it's a dumb name. I was
it is.
I was like, oh wow, that's idiotic. I would hate it if that was applied to my art.
I wish that we saw more roles like this from Greta. Like I love her in this. Also, just
she's
how
great.
physical she is in this too.
Yeah.
Arguably, I don't think the movie works if it's anyone else.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding.
Who else could have written? I mean, like her. So much of her life is on screen. Maybe she could have got Saoirse Ronan to play her.
Sure.
The Frances Ha too. But but like I think that. Which Lady Bird is such a fucking good movie, and it's so fascinating that like her parents are playing her parents. Like there's just this, but like I
gotta imagine there's someone in the Sacramento Chamber of Commerce that's pretty stoked at all her success.
Yeah,
they have her.
I don't think Sacramento was ever depicted in film before, and now we got two. So
yeah, I'm sure there's like a flyby, like there's flyby movies where it's like, oh, we're like
you know what I mean.
No, but I'm sure there's like we're gonna do a drive-by Sacramento.
We need the name of someplace in the middle of nowhere. Throw a dart at the map. Okay, sure.
I mean, this movie kind of like shows that Greta in the end does make it after all, because I mean, she's created so many good, successful films as a director and writer. And she's one of the few female directors to have like over $1 billion made at the box office because of success of like Barbie.
Well, it was an impossible mission. It shouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
Right? But we talked about that movie at length, and we're talking about this movie, and I can't believe we're blowing past the going to France on the weekend, because that is one of the most batshit crazy things ever.
I want to talk about that. But dude, I've always kind of though in my head been like, dude, I should put a credit card. Like I should put plane tickets on a credit card and go to France.
Like when you see a credit limit, it's like, wow, I could do a lot of things with that.
Let's go on a trip. Let's go.
She's like in severe credit card debt, and I'm still like, yeah, but I actually probably could do that. Like,
and the fact that she's like at the dinner party, and they're like, oh yeah, France is so great. We have this apartment, blah blah blah. Oh, but these, and it's like, oh, you could stay at our apartment, and she's like, yes, let's do that. That sounds great.
The guy that like one of the guys, right? Like the guy that works at Goldman, which fuck Goldman, but there really are. There are so many Goldman employees. I feel like, but like the guy that's like, oh, I know your friend Patch.
Yeah.
Go Patchy. Yeah. I like that she goes, "Sup, Rod?" He goes, "That's him," and it's like,
yeah.
But that guy though, that guy is another example of like. Like it's like the what do you do kind of thing where that guy looks like he could be in Oasis or something like that, right? Like as
exactly. Second stringer.
He looks like a bassist for like an English rock band or something, and then he's like, "Oh, I work at Goldman," and it's like
he's a finance bro.
Right. Of course you fucking do. Like,
yeah, probably voted for Romney. So Marta, what do you think about that whole like beginning in? How it's sort of like she gets the idea, she goes and does it. You mentioned the music being.
Yeah, well, I feel like she knows it's a bad idea. like again, the music is super telling.
Yeah.
She's walking down the street, but I think like she just knows, like even how she says that she's gonna go, it feels like she's always wearing a mask in the film, and truly like when that sort of facade breaks is near the end. So she doesn't look happy. She doesn't look happy on the way there. She doesn't look happy when she gets there. Then she has that call with Sophie while she's there as well. She doesn't tell her that she's there.
Yeah, what does she say? Like, this is costing me so much, and she's like, haha, just kidding.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, she kind of gives it
like,
away.
oh, the phone call is costing me a fortune. And then Sophie goes, why? And she goes, oh, just kidding, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those situations that we've probably all been through where like everything's kind of going terribly in your life and you just decide like this is probably a bad idea, but I'm gonna do it anyway, you know?
You get impulsive.
Or maybe that's just me.
Those,
I don't know.
No, in those moments you get more impulsive because it's like it's like when you're sitting at a casino and you just keep keep going because it's like what the fuck could I possibly lose? More
I'm already down this much. Yeah, exactly. The sunk cost fallacy. Well,
That
and
was
then
probably the most depressing Paris trip I've seen like brought to camera.
she does like nothing, right? Yeah.
And still in my head watching it, I was like, I could put a Paris on a credit card.
She doesn't even get a good night's sleep because of the school kids, which is amazing.
Yeah.
You know? And she doesn't do like any Paris specific thing. She's like in the subway. It looks just like the New York subway.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like everything about it is just so depressing and
The park.
demoralizing. Yeah.
Well, she smokes on the balcony. I mean, that's the closest you get to real Parisian culture, right? Like,
but I think you're right because like she's talking at this dinner party where everyone has their bougie sort of like, oh, we're gonna go travel over here and we're gonna do that and blah blah blah, and then she starts oversharing like about people that they don't know, and then so and so sort of fell out of favor with the friend group and blah blah, and it's like, honey, no, stop, no,
because
stop.
she acknowledges at the beginning that she shouldn't be drinking, and then she gets trapped, and it's like.
It's like our after parties.
And yeah.
But then she gives such a beautiful monologue while drunk.
The monologue is amazing, right? That's a piece of art. That is really good.
But like she starts drinking also when she finds out that it's Sophie, who it really is like a relationship without like the without any kind of sexuality to it. Like, but it is like there's so much, I don't know. There's like so much relationship type stuff to it. Like she finds out like pretty much her ex, her ex. Best friend slash paramour or muse or whatever like is moving to Japan and didn't tell her, and like it's, I don't know, like finding out something about like one of your best friends from somebody else is such a devastating moment. Like that realization that you're kind of that much on the outs with somebody that they're like that's big news, and you're finding out from fucking Liam Gallagher at the
dollar store. Liam Gallagher, yeah. Well, and it's also that's a moment of growing up too, right? That's a moment of disillusionment that, like, oh, you have that. My best friend, the person I've considered, we considered basically to be the same person. I'm out of touch with them, and that's heartbreaking in its way. But boy, does that ever happen in real life, huh?
Absolutely, it's interesting. I mean, she's someone who's always performing, I think. Like in her speech and her movements, like her sense of confidence that we see. And really, when she gets drunk and gives that monologue, I think that's the most honest we see her up until that point in the movie.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's, you get little moments like here and there, but they're usually between friends, right? It's not something where you get to see much of her because she has not really become an actualized person.
Which she says.
Which she's aware of and not apparently able to do anything about for a very long time.
It's all honestly like, it's kind of meta that she wants to be a choreographer and shape things, right?
I wanted to be a choreographer too. I mean, this movie really did hit home for me, and also too, thank you for the compliments about my short hair. I'm giving gothic Greta Gerwig because whenever I do those celebrity like lookalike things, I always get Greta Gerwig as like my number one lookalike, and I'm like, if I was blonde, I'd see it.
I think like she was a dancer. Like it wasn't. I don't think it was like a big feature of to the extent it is for Frances in this. Like I think it's kind of a background thing because I think Greta Gerwig's version of that is like she wanted to be a playwright, and then you know, they kept rejecting her from pretty much every playwright program from like Columbia to, I mean, she went to Barnard, but like her degree for Barnard is, I think it's like I was looking at this the other day, it's like philosophy and English. Like she didn't even go for, she wasn't even able to like you know, get into the acting program at the time. And it's
can you imagine
philosophy?
Can you imagine if she pulled a Celine song and that had been in the movie?
And then she's playing with Sims. She's like,
yeah.
Oh God, man. Oh, I can't
Such
wait
a deep. Every time you say that, I'm like, do people know what he's talking about? I'm like, I guess
there
it
was
doesn't
on a
matter,
Sims
but-
movie, I think, with Margot Robbie. I'm like, okay,
they should absolutely have Celine Song do the Sims movie.
I mean, she's got the bona fides, right? Why not?
Also,
so before we move off of the whole French, Kristina, you have any thoughts on like the impromptu French weekend, which by the way would be a great title?
I feel like this is going to be exactly like December when I go see the Backstreet Boys with my sister in Vegas at the Sphere. You know, you have one shot, one opportunity. Take it. That's what I say.
I mean,
you're going to be like, can I get a ticket for the Backstreet Boys? How far into it is it?
Yeah.
not to really pigeonhole Frances' life and make it my own. She should have just gone to Montreal. It's
a lot. They speak French there. More comments for Christina's hair. There you go.
It does, but it feels enough like Paris.
To it.
But if you pass out, if you take a sleeping pill and pass out, you're not really missing much.
That's the real Emily in Paris. You know how long that show's been running on Netflix and everyone fucking hates it? This does Emily in Paris.
Emily in French Canada.
Yeah, there you go.
Emily in Paris, but she just keeps taking sleeping pills.
She keeps drunkenly monologuing about her life.
It's crazy though. Like it really is like I don't know. Like insomnia fucking sucks. I mean, especially if like, you know, it's kids outside that are keeping you up. But
you just put up with it. If you have 40 hours in Paris, you don't sleep.
You exactly sleep.
Sleep on the plane.
I'll sleep on the plane right back. Yeah, for real. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I regularly just, you know, spend 48 hours up and I'm not in Paris. Like, so
Well,
got like a
a
little pharmacy along with her too, like pretty much.
But it also just shows how ill prepared she is for this little misadventure, right? And that's one of the reasons that makes it such a good sequence, even though you know, I wanted to collapse into myself from cringiness first time I saw it, and this time I knew it was coming at least. So, but I was like, oh
yeah.
God, no, don't go back for that meeting either. Just hang out at least for, you know,
it was the
see
pill
a thing.
That got me. When she takes the pill, I was like, no.
When you go to a foreign place, it's like a new place, like going to Paris, like that's a big freaking deal. You gotta prep for that. You gotta like have things, you know, planned out and this and that. You can't just willy-nilly, you know.
Yeah, but there's like a feeling that like, I don't know, someone's like, hey, you want to have my like free apartment, and in your head you're like, well, maybe if I plan it out,
I'll be saving money on that, so I can now justify it. Yeah.
But it's also like, if I, you know, maybe I'll never get to go to, like, I think of that, like, I really like want to go to Paris specifically, like in general, like, because I've never left this continent. I mean, I've gone to like the farthest I've been is like Costa Rica. Like I've wanted to go to fucking Europe forever. So like in my head, I was like, if you got a moment where it's like everybody in my family's gone to Europe except me, so it's like in my head, I'm like, if somebody offered me that apartment, like I would just like impulsively do it, because it's like in my head I'd be like, when else am I going to do it? I feel like that was her thought process. I mean, she's also extremely drunk.
Yeah. I think it was also maybe just like a perfect storm of just shit. Because this was when she discovered that Sophie's going to Japan, right? Like these people that she's surrounding herself with, like everyone's kind of moving on, having a life, you know, traveling, exploring. And she probably just in that moment wanted to fit in and experience that herself. And didn't
Sophie says on the phone, like, you should really travel. And it's like, you see the world's most miserable, boring travel experience, while Sophie's like, you should really travel. And it's like, I mean, I don't know if Frances should travel, but like, it's like in that moment, right? Like it's she's sitting there and like she's on the phone, and it's like, you should really travel. And it's like, she can't even say that that's what she's doing. Like the one time that she's doing something that other people would think is something, you know, interesting, just in general, like something interesting. Like she can't even talk about it because it's like so impulsive and weird that she'd have to explain the whole thing. And that would get her further into the hole with Sophie.
And that's a youthful thing, right? That kind of inexcusable impetuousness that you don't even. It's embarrassing to attempt to explain it.
That's what I was going to say. She's probably embarrassed because it's just another example of her not having her life together. Like, imagine if she said, "Oh, I'm in Paris," and Sophie asked her, "Oh, what have you done?" And for her to say nothing, I took a sleeping pill.
Right. At least to the Eiffel Tower. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. See a thing.
I saw half of Puss in Boots.
Yeah, I think it's just embarrassed.
Not even Puss in Boots 2. Yeah, the better one.
It kind of reminds
Puss in Boots 2 actually is very good, by the way. That's
it reminds me of this TikTok I just saw. It's like, my geography teacher, doesn't think I know I learned anything, but here I am, and it's the London Bridge, right? Like, we all know it, and it's like Eiffel Tower, Berlin. And I'm like,
all right, I get it. Yeah, very good, very droll.
That's where my family's from, Eiffel Tower, Berlin.
Dance as a medium that's her art is an interesting one, and was mentioned earlier. Again, when she's at like I guess they're hanging out. It's not really a party, and they're like, "Oh, dance for us." By the way, can I say, as if someone was like,
"This is a creepy way to do it too," like.
If someone would be like, "Oh, you play guitar for me," I'm like, "Why don't you go pound sand?" No.
Yeah.
Like, what am I, a jukebox? Hell no.
But she's so desperate to like
entertain us, peasant.
And some people do like that, right? But I would say for the people like being a creative person that ostensibly has a career, I know a lot of other people do as well. People don't like that generally. No. Some people do. A few people do, but she has given no indication that she's that kind of person. But then she does it and just does this little pirouette, and you're like, honey, come on.
Oh, no.
Don't do this to yourself. Have some self-respect.
It's like being asked, oh, you do comedy, right? Tell us a joke.
Tell us a joke. Yeah.
And it's also done after they want her to leave.
Yeah, they want her to leave, and then now she's performing. But the thing is, she so desperately wants to perform, and she wants like approval for like her chosen art medium, and it's so sad.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to be fair, it's I don't know. Like for me personally, it just really, really spoke to me. Like when you see everybody around you or the people in your orbit, moving on, and a lot of the time they're moving on because of some form of, they either come from money or they lucked out, like life was just lucky to them. And you see that happening. And of course you want a bit of that, right? Like, of course you're going to want to try and fit in. So yeah, I don't know. I found it to be relatable and just very human. All of it. Like,
when you first see her, like Sophie is her linchpin, but like not necessarily in a positive way. Like they constantly talk shit about everybody else. Like and
right.
Hear that
also relatable.
Yeah, but like they're kind of in this insular back and forth kind of thing where it's like they're both kind of insecure, and she's treating Frances like she's like a romantic partner. Like they're sleeping in bed together. Even when Frances is like, I should probably go to my own room. Like she's treating her almost like in a weird way, like a doll, but also like a romantic part, like a substitute romantic partner in a weird way, like throughout that entire thing. And it's almost like you see somebody that's kind of feels like they're the princess of the castle for a second, and then completely thrown off balance. Like they pulled the stool out from under her or something, and she's trying to desperately now find another version of what she just had with these guys, which already is putting it in a complicated situation because it's guys, and it's it's like are you gonna be prey, or are you gonna be like these guys they both want to fuck her, and it's like she clearly isn't interested in that, and she's trying to like do kind of a friendship kind of thing, and so desperately wants their approval, and it's like I don't know, it's just all of that together kind of makes it sad, and like the loss of that friendship being like the linchpin that was kind of holding her life together is like.
I wonder, you just brought it up to me. I don't know. I'm just thinking about it right now, what you were saying, like how you think the guys are wanting to hook up with her. I wonder if what happened between her and Sophie never happened, would she be interested in Adam Driver's character? Because she was initially, right?
Right, yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was just
I mean, they
weird
went.
to me.
Oh my
when
God,
he
they went on
finally
that
grabbed
date where
her.
she has to go to the ATM.
Yes,
Oh my
yes.
God, incredible
Yes.
sequence.
And then later on, when he kind of grabs her and she does that weird thing,
Yeah.
I wonder if any of this would have played out this way had she still had her place with Sophie. Like, it feels like that's the catalyst for
Interesting.
Like-
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she's kind of trying to one for one, like the connection and friendship and camaraderie aspect of it, rather than anything romantic.
It threw me off when she kind of
Yeah.
rejected him the first time I watched it. Because I was like, wait a minute, I thought you guys you had a thing going.
Yeah, there's
But-
like something.
By
there's-
the way, but I must give a shout out to the card declined. Go get cash from the ATM.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my, like straight out of our Curb Your Enthusiasm sequence or something, right? Amazing, but in a way that, have you ever seen that depicted in a film before? Because I
Not like
haven't,
that.
but that's something that let's say people I know have had happen to them.
Is that
But like,
after hours? No.
it makes it so much. It makes it so much.
Not
like,
me, of course.
That actually happened.
It actually
the other day,
does.
we helped a woman pay gas because she had no money in her car, and I'm like, "Don't worry, we got you.
Yeah.
It actually
That's
does. It
Pay
actually
it
does
forward,
remind
people.
me-
Pay it forward. Makes
Like
you feel
Marta,
good."
you're 100% right. It does remind me of After Hours.
yeah,
Totally.
But
It's absolutely yeah.
yeah, but like no, there's like it makes it so much sadder when you realize that like Lev Shapiro is as rich as he is, and he's like,
Yeah, he could have paid it any time.
yeah,
You know, take it out of your fedora cleaning budget. You know,
You should have just done it while she was gone. Like, that would have been the
That would have been the
gentlemanly.
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
And
no,
that's
yeah,
why
absolutely.
I think it's a secret prequel to his character in Annette, who's an MRA guy. Because it doesn't make that whole like completely unfunny, does not land at all, feminist joke where it's just like, dude, come on, like, how do you think that was gonna land? Like, really? Like, you thought that was like a laugh riot?
But she's like, she calls him up and she's like, oh, I just got like my tax return. Like, it's so clearly like the tiny bit of money that she had, like the pittance. Like, she just like, I don't know, like the fact that he ends up being like, and he's talking about Jay Leno. He's a regular Andy Kindler over there talking about. No,
and
he's
they're
like-
not aligned at all. And he's like, oh, he's so annoying. Yeah, but in a funny way, right? And it was like, no.
I also love the line where she's he goes, oh, Sophie said you like basketball, and she goes, oh, it was just that one time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and so maybe that answers Marta's question, right? Of like, it's very clear they have nothing in common.
Nothing. Yeah.
Like, they don't like the same things. You know, like he's got a hat that sucks.
She's got a lot more. She's got a lot more in common with Benji, but. God,
But that goes to
That
things
was
like
weird. All of that was
he doesn't
weird.
date Benji because he's insufferable. He's literally the most insufferable character, and maybe it's the fact that like there's certain personality quirks that remind me of me a little bit in that character. Like,
So yeah, A, yes, he is insufferable. B, I knew a boy and girl around that age that had that back and forth, and I hated every second of being anywhere near it. Like, and I was like, Jesus fucking H Christ. It was the roommate of my girlfriend at the time, the same one who turned me on to Wim Wenders, Wings of Desire and Until the End of the World. And I was like, what? And I would ask her, like, what is with this relationship? Like, do they even like each other? Like, what is this? It's like, oh no, that's just how they are. I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Constant bickering, like the constant miscommunication, the fact that you have nothing. Like I
he's negging her, right? All the time.
I clean for people who are like this.
Undateable.
Like, they're willing to argue and fight in front of my mom
right,
and I.
right.
My mom and I are looking at them like, and we're looking at them like, why are these two married? They've been together for 40 plus years, and yet they still like, you know, the bicker like old couple thing. But it's like it's kind
Yeah,
of like,
like,
maybe these two shouldn't be together.
yeah, there's that. Wait, so I wanted to go back to the whole secrets where she's trying to pay. You know, she has to run to the ATM and stuff. Because there's two moments in there.
Who's
where
Afraid of Virginia Woolf was what you're reminding me. Sorry, I just want to
Yes.
get that out there. I love that movie.
there's these two moments where the joke that that Lev Shapiro tries to make doesn't land when he says when he's like, I'm not gonna he's like I'm not gonna have sex with you on the first date. She's like, I'm not trying to have sex, and like she immediately pulls away, and he's like, no, I'm trying to be a liberated woman.
Yeah.
And then she goes
it's-
like
it's
her
like, oh.
yeah, and then she goes, he's kind of being an asshole when she comes back, and which
my friend, run away.
You should have just fucking paid the bill while she was gone. Like,
yeah, that would have been that would have been the bro move, right?
Yep.
I mean, come on, like, what are you doing here?
Wait, what happens after after she gets back? She pays, and then what's next?
They go to the apartment. They go to the
apartment.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. There's like there's a second moment where he's like, "Did you go to Switzerland?" And she's like, "No, I've never been to Switzerland." Like, there's these two moments where
oh god, so awkward. Yeah.
Like, his joke doesn't land twice
because she's been gone a long time, is why.
Yeah.
And she just earnestly engages with it, which is hilarious in that awkward.
I thought both jokes were funny, personally.
Yeah, I mean, the liberated woman one is very funny. But I'm a liberated. I would have caught on to it immediately. I would have got.
I've heard that. I'm a liberated man. I've heard that before.
I mean, it's kind of like a that kind of funny. You know what I mean? Like, all right, acknowledge.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Like there is a thing where it's like, as like a guy, like how many opportunities do you have where like a woman takes you out as opposed to vice versa in that moment? Like, I don't know. Like there's that part to it where it's like he's clearly playing the roles being reversed or whatever.
Gareth, that kind of talk, they're going to issue a fedora to you.
But it's like I don't know. Like you do get the impression though by like the character having a little bit more time on screen. Like he's clearly like a guy who's rich but also doesn't want to pay for things. Mm-hmm. Like
a lot of rich people don't.
Yeah, of course. but he's like rich father, right? Rich, right? Like it's not money he's even had to like earn, and yet like he's the one that's being the hard ass about rent, and it's like instead of trying to like help her out at least in that moment while she's trying to get back on her feet, and he's like tried to like take off the money for like $950, and then he's like, oh, now it's $1,200, and like he's clearly like, I don't know, being like a ball buster about it or whatever, and it's like it is always like a rich guy that's like, oh, I want everyone to make sure that they pay the full amount, but it's like I don't know, in that moment, like you realize like, oh, he's just cheap. Like it's fun. Like,
no, really, that's 100%. Yeah,
like rich as fuck, but also incredibly cheap. Mm-hmm. But he is good on transportation. He's good at
I do want to. I as much as it would be great to just talk about Lev Shapiro and his multitudes,
and his podcast that he definitely has.
And his podcast that he almost certainly has. Yeah, absolutely.
He and Benji.
Benji's carrying all the water for that, and he just like, oh yeah, definitely.
He's like, he's looking at his phone the whole time while they're recording.
Yeah. Exactly. I want to kind of get into the Vassar stuff, right? Where she like returns to like the school that she went to work as a waitress and an RA.
And she starts picking her feet.
Right, picking her feet in Poughkeepsie. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Ever since we did the French Connection, that comes up all the time, Marta. It's just a thing. You just have to deal with it.
I got it.
Yeah. Exactly. You're
it was one joke and it worked in the context.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah, it does. It's fine. It's fine. I've made it myself. So she's
picking your feet right now. Oh, hey!
I was definitely scratching him. I got bit by a mosquito in the foot. Don't recommend it, by the way.
Oh no!
Sucks.
Foot, man. That's the worst.
We got calamine lotion, so that's good. So she goes back to Vassar, but she's totally overworked and like can't really take classes, right? So she's just working at the school that she went to do this creative work, right? And then there's this alumni auction, and she's waitressing at the alumni auction, and who shows up but Sophie, right?
And also, pretty much Ghislaine Maxwell, I guess. Like,
yeah.
Not wrong.
He's I don't know. That woman's. I'm surprised that woman's not in prison. Like,
and she basically tells her like, she's basically told like shadow this woman her every move, like make sure, blah blah blah, et cetera, et cetera. But she's like in a service industry role, which is fine. That's perfect. That's honest labor. But to do so at a place that like, no, you matriculated at this school. This is the place that you went for your creative art, for your passion, and you're sitting here, serving drinks and so on and so on, and then her best friend is there and she's wasted.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's such a weird way for them to kind of reconnect. Like she's drunk. She lets her stay in the dorm room.
leans on her in the same way that like she does in the beginning of the movie, where it's like as like a therapist / relationship partner /
because she's unhappy in the relationship. They had a miscarriage in Japan, right? She said she was unhappy in Japan, which again is maybe the least believable thing about this movie. I was like, all right, come on. But you get another sense of like, oh, this is this deep connection that they have. This is this deep friendship they have, and like, because for the most of the movie, you're sitting there not seeing that, right? You're just hearing like, this is, maybe this is Frances's memory of what this friendship was. And like, you find out, oh, no, like they do have this deep connection. They're in very, very, very different places. What do we think about that whole sequence, that scene?
I thought it was so bittersweet because, I don't know about you guys, but for me, watching that scene, especially when Sophie's in Frances's bed, and I think one of them says, or they both kind of agree that they're going to move back in together and she's going to break up with Patch. And I just knew that wouldn't happen. Like you just know that that's not reality. Yeah. It almost felt like an inverse actually of the Paris sequence where Frances doesn't tell Sophie that she's there. Where she's also embarrassed because she's doing all these things. Everyone thinks her life is going great, but it's not, right? Yeah. And so that's why she didn't tell.
And that having like the blog as like a signifier of that is so perfect too, because it's like it's literally the Instagram thing where it's like you put your happiest face on Instagram, and then you can be miserable as fuck, but like nobody should know. And I feel like everybody knows when it's Frances. Like everybody knows that she's a mess, and it's like. You look at Sophie, who's also her life in Japan at least is a mess. Which I don't think that's believable either. It's like I feel like if I went to Japan, I would get my life in order in that thing. I'd have a I'd have a life changing Owen Wilson type revelation while I was.
Wow.
What's that, Marta? What were you?
I was going to say, to be fair, if you're miserable everywhere. Because I did that
true.
in my mid-20s. I went and lived abroad and thinking that living in Barcelona would be incredible. And I was miserable for a year. Yeah, and then I later realized as I matured, like, oh, hey, it wasn't Barcelona. It was me.
Right. Well, calls are coming from inside the house.
Correct. Yes. So in a sense, it is kind of believable to me. I think it just depends on like, who you are and are you happy with your life? Like I think just trying to escape your problems is never going to be solvable.
Well, it's like a
I know living South Carolina would definitely help like 99% of my problems. That's for sure.
But it's like a giant version of the impulsive thing that Frances does, right? Like it's like in that same way. Like it's she impulsively quits her publishing job and like goes off with a guy that she doesn't even really like. That like seems to actually really like her up until like they're fighting like he seems to like her way more than she likes him. But he also is he's rich and he works at Goldman and he's really good at quantitative.
Dude, can I just say this movie does such a great job of making that sound like the lamest thing that ever has been. Like it's so good because you see so many movies, especially when people try to do like the Moneyball of finance or whatever, this and that. They try to make it sound cool. It's like you're never going to make that sound cool because it's not cool.
It's not sexy. No. I'm just here because you get a good paycheck.
I do like the idea of like
exactly.
You're I don't know. You work at Goldman and you're rich enough that you have a white quant. Because like they every fucking movie they're like, oh, this is my quant, and it's like an Asian guy or whatever that they like. I don't know. Like a Big Short, they did that.
Yeah. I remember. So Frances reconciles with Sophie, and basically she's like a fledgling choreographer. She's teaching dance to children. She's a bookkeeper for the dance company, right? She's in her own apartment, major milestone. And then we see at the very end of the movie, she puts like the classic, the mailbox, and you put your name in it, and it doesn't quite fit. So instead of Frances Halladay, it's Frances Ha.
Which throughout the movie, it's like, before that part, it's like, what? Frances Halladay is all right. Like,
what is this? Like, where is this coming from?
At the end, it's like, oh shit,
okay. That ending really works for me. I think you see your self-actualization, even though it is, her friends come to see the show, and she's like, yeah, it's all right. She's doesn't have these delusions of grandeur about it. But she is doing the art. She is working in the art, but she's also living in a environment that is probably more productive for her in the long term, and has grown up a little bit. Mm-hmm. And there is less of that naivete, but there is some of that dreaminess still. And I think that's an important aspect to the ending. Because it isn't like her dreams were all crushed and now she lives a miserable existence. Again, if Ari Aster did this movie.
She's still paying off the Paris trip.
The Paris trip. She might be, for all we know, right? But I think that really works. And it was something that... Because I was sitting there, and for some reason I was like, why is it called Frances Ha? I couldn't remember why. I was like, I think it's explained at the ending, but I don't remember why. I was like, oh, right, it's like the mailbox. Okay, that's cool. How do we feel about the ending? Do we like the ending?
It's the same metaphorical, like it doesn't have to do something grand, and it's like
yes,
she compromises, like
right.
Leotardo when he went to prison, and he made cookies on the radiator, she compromises, and she's like, it's not like a perfect thing, it's not a perfect fit, but it's like it's her fit, right? Like,
yes.
It feels like she's found her place, right? Like, even if it's not exactly what she dreamed of or exactly the way that she wanted it to be, she's found her place, and I think it's hopeful. I think it's actually character development, character growth.
I'm ready for the sequel, Frances. Aha!
There it is. There you go.
Where she's the one that inspires Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I think the end, like the goal that she. Or no, the ending itself, I think the beauty of it is just stability. That's kind of what she needed throughout the entire movie. She didn't need everything to be solved. She just needed stability and just like a sense of normalcy, and to just know that you're on a path that will lead to something good.
Just living on your own is like a massive step towards
also,
quote unquote.
Can I say how much everything has changed? Because I highly doubt you could have your own apartment in New York now.
Hell
no. You might be able
to.
You might be able to Airbnb a dorm in that.
Yeah, exactly. $2,000 a month.
Even back then, I think that was like a bit rich. Secondary and have your own apartment.
Well, but you can.
That's the whole like everybody in fucking New York City is actually just like the son of somebody rich, right? Like it's really hard to have any kind of, I don't know, like unless you have 8 roommates, you all sleep in a pile on the.
Well, yeah, or it's endless hustling, right? Like it's endless. Like you do side gigs, you do the Bay Area is not much better, right? And that was like we spent the entire time just like trying to keep your head above water, and that involved. There's all kinds of things that I would do, right? Like I shot videos for like other bands and things to produce those, and it's like all just like you do what you can to pay the bills, and it's not even necessarily because you love doing that kind of work. It's like I'm just gonna do this because the bills need to be paid. Got to pay off that parking ticket I got,
But it's like anybody around her could like really help her life out, and
but people don't do that though.
I know. Saying like
philanthropy,
people do that like at a at quite the steep price, I think.
Right, person-to-person philanthropy that's not like a Medici sort of artistic investment kind of thing is not something that we necessarily see. And especially, and I'm not going to be classist about it, but I guess it's going to sound classist, especially rich people. Rich people are some of the cheapest people you ever meet. Can I tell you, people I know that like have massive amounts of money that are always asking for guest lists? I'm sorry, you need guest list to be on the show? Really?
Or like they got like a broken refrigerator and they still refuse to replace it. I'm like, you got an oven door that won't close. You got this refrigerator leaking. I'm like, you cannot.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, but because you can.
Actually, for a millionaire who says this, and my mom and I are like,
well, it's the Benji thing where it's like you can just have somebody deliver you stuff, and it's like, you don't got to fix your refrigerator at that point. It's like you're.
Oh gosh.
Before we move on, there's a good one, Josh, in the comments. Would the woman on the panel be with a poor, beautiful artist or a rich, ugly guy? All right.
Love is overrated. Give me the rich, ugly guy.
Wow. Inspired by the Materialist. Kristina Oakes, everybody.
Marta? I don't know. I don't know. I think the ugliness would get to me eventually. I feel like I don't know.
Yeah, you got to look at it.
Personality. Right? That's actually the correct answer.
All right, there you go.
You can be ugly but nice.
It's a little bit of hope for all the ugly guys with personality out there.
All right, let's open the door. See who it is. Harvey Weinstein.
See, but they're all doing their own podcasts. So anyway.
Lev Shapiro and Benji's podcast would be.
What would it be called? What would be the topic of that podcast? Oh man,
it would literally just be like a meander. Like there would
just like an everything nothing, just no structure of any kind.
Yeah, and you'd hear like he'd talking about like motorcycles and like how he met Jay Leno and his art gallery job, and then like girls he slept with and then he'd be airing out the girls that like didn't call him back or
right. Oh my god.
By the way, the girl like I think in this movie her name is Nessa, but it's the girl from Secession that was Conan.
Oh yeah, I thought of you and I was like, oh yeah, that actress was in
like
Secession.
But like it's funny that she's typecast as just like like kind of a thottie like both in Secession and in this where she's just like, oh I fucked Sophie's brother, and then he's like, I don't know. I like when she's like, I just met you yesterday. And it's like,
well, she's not. She's been other. She's like Mr. Mercedes. She's played the Holly Gibney role in Mr. Mercedes. She's very good at that. I know what you're saying though. Anyway, whatever. Justine Lupe, I think is her name.
Yeah, that's her name. I couldn't think of it.
Anyway, Letterboxd, of course, is a place for film lovers to talk out with and to each other about the movies that they love, maybe the movies they didn't love, maybe the movies where the review was just, this is me, literally, over and over and over again. And of course...
just like me for real. Just like me for real.
And of course, it's not Siskel's and Eberts of the world that get to have their say. Everyone gets to chime in, opine, bottom-up democracy. Everybody gets to talk about the movies that they love, and... this is best expressed succinctly. Of course, you don't have to work in your tight five, but for the purposes of this bit, I collect them every week for Forrest and the panel to respond to, laugh at, with, and for. And that is what's happening right now. These are the Letterboxd one-liners for Frances Ha. Let's roll them. The moment when Frances continuously does not get the hint when Colleen asks her she's in a rush and doesn't have time to talk, and Frances just keeps talking. That is just the worst.
I like when she's like, she's talking about how like she's like, oh, you had that interview. Like, I usually hate that woman's writing, but I liked it here. And like that's her line to get in and like butter her up.
Yeah. That's a friend of the show, Katie, by the way, who we just saw the 70mm meetup. Well, Forrest and I did anyway.
Yeah.
Gonna need horns and trumpets to start playing every time I get a check in the mail. Actually,
it's such a great moment of like. I don't know, just everything in their life is crashing, and then you like it is so real. Like you open up the mailbox, and it's like, oh shit, money, and then it's like your mood completely changes.
Yeah, it's like the surprise somebody bought the entire discography PayPal payment for me. But yeah, same principle. Normalize greeting people with the phrase "Ahoy, sexy."
Yes,
it is pretty gay.
I actually say that to my friends all the time, and they hate it. They hate it so much.
Ahoy, sexy.
I really love the line where she's like, should I reply starboard anal sec?
Yeah, answer.
Fucking line. And then, but like, she really is like a pseudo relationship because like the way that I don't know, like the way that Sophie like kind of communicates with her, she's like, you're so funny, and then she's like. I don't know. There's just like this weird thing about it where it's like she's almost trying to like impress her or like flatter her this strange way, and then also like it's just this weird like you see how in I don't know like she could go for a guy like Patch and then be completely fake about it like with with Frances and then
Patch. Jesus Christ.
Sup, brah.
That's his coworker. That's his buddy saying that.
I love when he goes. That's him. Like
yeah, there you go. That's Patch. All right. Yeah, there he is.
And I also really like where they're making fun of him and they're like, Patch is the kind of guy that says, "Yo, I gotta take a leak," and the first thing he says on screen is, "Sorry, just had to take a leak."
Yeah, that's good. This one's for annoying and insufferable people who constantly overthink their future and feels as if their life is falling apart after a minor inconvenience. Me.
Word.
Yep.
True.
That's a more erudite version of the thing I was referencing in the opening, by the way.
Of course.
But that's okay.
It's like, it's hard to. I mean, dancer is tough, right? Like you hit 27 or 28, and it's like it's kind of over for you.
Club. Woohoo! You made it.
If you're not successful by that point, you like hit the wall. I mean, I hate that phrase, but like,
well, it's like sports and such. Yeah, it's any kind of like that level of physicality, you know. Sports and such. Thank you. This Barbie is undateable.
By the way, that's what Lev Shapiro and Benji's podcast is about. Sports and such.
Oh man, there you go. There it is. It all tied back, didn't it? Fantastic.
Together, people.
I like the idea that her Ken is Benji.
No.
and he's like undateable.
I'm just Benji.
This Ken is on the spectrum and strangely weird with women.
But he gets a beard and he like, I don't know, he does have that one girl.
Yeah, maybe she likes it. I don't know.
And she's kind of cute. I like when she's like, I have to meet with Colleen on Monday, and she's like,
I don't know you.
Yeah.
Huge laugh line on my couch. I'll tell you that much. Because honestly, that sounds like something I'd say.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about Adam Driver in a fedora. Might be one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
It's that, and then it's him.
Star Wars movies.
And then it's him. It's him punching the wall in Marriage Story.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
I was about to say that too.
There you go. There it is.
I love like all the memes though that came out of that had nothing to do with Marriage Story, but he punches the wall.
One moment.
It's like whatever it is.
Very memeable moment.
Yeah.
There are a couple in White Noise, right? In that most recent Noah Baumbach, Adam Driver. I saw that and kind of forgot I saw it. And like I know people that love that book. I enjoyed it too. I just don't ever think of it ever at any time, at any moment in time. But
also, it's funny that if you I found out right now, if you type in Adam Driver fedora, he's actually worn a fedora in a lot of fucking movies.
Oh, really? More than just the one? Oh, wow. Breaking news, everybody. Okay.
While We're Young. There's like I don't know. There's and then like in White Noise has the hat.
He's a multiple fedora kind of guy, right? Okay. He's bringing it back.
He's definitely the guy who he definitely is a fedora guy.
He's definitely It's better than bringing back the Charlie Chaplin mustache. Whatever Sophie and Frances had hurts more than a breakup.
Oh boy,
it's true.
It's true.
There's like a codependency to it that like is like she literally like I don't know. Frances keeps trying to get out of the room and go to her own bed, and then like she won't let her. She's like, "Don't just sleep in my bed," and it's like I don't know. So I feel like Sophie would benefit from some therapy. In Japan.
Yeah, they got those there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Christ, girl, get it together.
I saw this movie the first time. I think I was 28 and I was like at my most alienated that I've felt in like any capacity. And like the visceral like relation I had to this movie, or the visceral like I don't know, just the way that it kind of transcended for me was like amazing. Like like in that moment, it's like just her level of alienation and then my level of alienation at that moment. It's like it was like when I was 13 and I read Catcher in the Rye for the first time.
Sure.
oh boy.
And like the connection you have to that, where it's like, which
I'm gonna choose to engage in it earnestly and not do shtick.
You wanted to assassinate a beetle or something?
That was the shtick that I was gonna avoid. Just so we know, we were going to the same place.
Yep.
Listen, I realized after that point that John Lennon was already dead, and I didn't know what to do from there.
Greta Gerwig is who Lena Dunham wishes she was.
Yeah.
Yes, a million times yes.
They're trying
that should be the most popular review.
True.
They're out there trying to like rehabilitate Lena Dunham. And it's like she's still like I'm never not going to be annoyed by her. I'm sorry. Like I'm sure like everybody enjoys girls, but like I'm still going to be annoyed by her.
But Adam Driver.
That's how we know Adam Driver.
Just a reminder.
I wonder if he wears a fedora.
If I had a nickel every time Greta Gerwig directed a movie where an awkward girl with short hair moved from Sacramento to New York, then I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
It happened 3 times because also the actual Greta Gerwig.
All right. You want to jump into the comments and let her know? There you go. Those are the Letterboxd one-liners for Frances Ha. Please follow the show on our Letterboxd HQ account at Movie Night Extra, where you get all of the write-ups, Tenet links for all the wonderful episodes we do, the wonderful movies that we cover in the show, Tenet's short-form content, all of that jazz. Follow the show there. Forrest, Undateable, at Always Flacco on Letterboxd. You can find him on there.
Undateable. It gets longer the more time he's like
more syllables.
He's like
more elongation.
Undateable.
Yeah.
Undateable.
You can follow him on there for all stuff he does on this show, as well as many other things that he watches as well that do not have anything to do with the show. I am the 3-hour brunch friend at Conan Neutron. Not one of your 3-hour brunch friends. One of the greatest.
That whole line.
I
I know where you keep your pill. I'm not. So don't treat me like a 3-hour brunch friend. Is like that's so real
good.
though.
It's beautiful. I love it. You can find me on Letterboxd at Conan Neutron doing the highbrow, midbrow.
The girl that she moves in with, that she play fights with, that doesn't want to play fight. That is like peak 3-hour brunch friend.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I don't think that girl's capable of having like a deeper friendship than that. Like
probably not. Highbrow, midbrow, populous fair. Follow me along for the Criterion Challenge 2025. Almost done, by the way. So I'm way ahead of pace for that one. But please follow along. Like to get in discussions on the popular Letterboxd platform. Frances Aha, aka Kristina, down there. It's at Kristina. You can. I think I gave you a good one for caught stealing. So I don't know if you
I'm gonna be seeing that one.
Logging that. While we were waiting in the wings before the show.
Go see it after this. I'm gonna see it tonight. There's a showing.
I really liked it. That was one of the nicest surprises all year. I was blown away. Aronofsky. I mean, I have grown to expect a certain kind of movie from him, and it is not that.
I still have to see it, but I did like I can't even remember what movie it was before, but they had like the 5-minute trailer, like when they first dropped it.
Yeah,
and I was like, I feel like I've seen like the plot of this movie by now. Like,
I assure you haven't. It's more complicated than even all that. And I would say something that I think sums it up really well, but I gave that to Kristina earlier before the show started, so she can use it because I think it's very astute. Of course, I think that I said it. Marta McFly, my good friend Marta McFly, is on Letterboxd. Marta Jovovich. She is logging all kinds of stuff. One of my favorite Letterboxd follows. We frequently mix it up and discuss things not on a show, and I appreciate that about you. Definitely one of the people that I have found the most value out of being Letterboxd buddies with, and that is real AF.
High value.
I got you.
It's the Letterboxd high value woman.
And we'll get it.
Our new sponsor, the Sacramento Chamber of Commerce.
Sacramento Chamber of Commerce. Crazy.
It's a very niche one.
Let's hit it with the plugs.
Yeah. If you're watching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe, and then hit the bell to get notified whenever we're streaming. And we'd humbly request that you watch the video to the end, because it helps us with the algorithm and helps more film fans to discover the show. We're also monetized. If you want to get your chat questions definitely read on stream, you can always send us a super chat, which will help us keep the show going. Every cent helps. If you're watching on Twitch, you can gift us a free sub on Amazon Prime with your Prime membership, but getting subs on Twitch is always appreciated, and it helps to follow us on there as well. We also have an audio feed, which is available wherever you download podcasts, if you prefer to listen to podcasts rather than watch the stream. That's updated usually the same day we stream, but watching on YouTube and Twitch is the best way to get the show first, live as it happens. If you want to support us with a monthly donation and get access to all of our after parties forever, which go patron only after we do them, you can become a patron at patreon.com/movie night extra. Link is in the description for that. It really helps us keep the show going since we do have some expenses to make this happen. We also have a Discord community. Link is in the description for that. We sometimes watch movies we cover on there. We get into conversations about everything from film to TV shows to related podcasts. We even have a Discord channel for memes. It's really fun on there. You can find us on all the social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, and Threads. You connect with us on all of those. Talk to us. We'd love to hear from you. Lastly, we recently made a TikTok at Movie Night Extra where we're putting up short form clips from the episodes. Okay, passing this to Conan so he can tell you about his music and this week's Protonic Reversal. Conan, who's on Protonic this week?
Yes. Daniel House of CZ Records and Skinyard, classic Seattle band, is on, and he is starting a podcast called The Creative Asylum. So that's very interesting in and of itself. And I'm very excited to talk to him about that. He is an interesting dude. He's done a bunch of stuff. Tune in for that Thursday, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific. Podcast later everywhere, always free. No ads, no sponsors, no kidding. $1 a month, patreon.com/Protonic Reversal for advance access to those episodes. The Defenestrator from Yowie episode, which I understand probably sounds like foreign language to most people. That episode's up in the general feeds. And the Tom Flynn of Boner Records, real record label, everybody. Put out Melvin's, look it up. And Antler Family and Star Pimp and so many great bands, including Fang. That episode is still in the patron queue, but it'll be going to the general feed tomorrow. So please check that as well.
Lev Shapiro, CEO of Boner Records.
Tim Midyat of Silkworm coming up next week as well. There's a bunch of good stuff coming up. I'm going to announce the last few ones I have scheduled pre-tour, which is a good transition because Conan and John's Secret Friends back on tour in October and November. We are going out to Seattle for Rat City Recon, which is a great time. Again, a bunch of like awesome bands playing in a gigantic roller rink, and it is a blast and a half. I think I probably left the there it is. Here we go. There's the poster. So we got Chicago, Minneapolis, Lincoln, Denver, Salt Lake City, Boise, Eugene, Portland, Seattle. Good run. We apparently decided we're going to go right up to Marta Jovovich's door and not go into Canada.
I hate it so much. So close so far.
But would love to. Maybe when things are a little less politically tempestuous. But we also have.
Don't bring any oranges.
That's all they care about, apparently, is citrus.
We had to literally like.
I've done it. I know. Yeah, and they're like, "What?"
You're gonna pull off into the section where they literally like search your car because of oranges.
Yeah. It's just.
I know about this.
It's so bizarre. It's such a weird thing. November, we're going out to see Kansas City, Jackson, Atlanta, New Orleans, Austin, Denton, Wichita, Santa Fe, and Phoenix. And then we're playing with Mike Watt in December. This is breaking news, everybody, in LA, which is great. I'm very excited about that. I'm a huge Minutemen fan. That is good news because, of course, the Jesus Lizard show was canceled, which was going to be how we ended the year, and that sucks. But what are you going to do?
Yeah, that was going to be a big thing, and then it just.
You're goddamn right it was. Is there a cattail during my plugs? During my plugs? How dare you do this during my plugs?
It's McGraw.
I am
undateable.
I did a return appearance on the podcast Performance Anxiety, which is going to be coming out soon. I'm not sure exactly when. And then a friend of the show on for our After Hours episode, Rick Valentin and his son Graham shot a video for a little old band called Conan Neutron, the Secret Friends, noir themed. And it is very good. I had nothing to do with it, so I can say that. And I think I kind of want to like list the reference points of all the different noirs that they mentioned. It's really cool. That's gonna be coming out very soon, next like week or so. Very excited for that. And then on 1001 Album Complaints, talking about the Cars' first record coming out very soon as well, which is one of my favorite records.
I feel like After Hours is like somehow Fran's
podcast name
gets hooked on the sleeping pills or something.
Yeah,
and like,
sure.
After Hours is like she's plunged into it.
Yeah. I mean, I love that genre, which is like someone like running around late at night trying to get to a place. You know, I'm all about that movie motif. I'm all into it. It's great.
Do you think that could ever work with like a rural setting? Like, because New York it works so well, but like, I could see somebody trying to do it and failing. Where they're like, like running around and like
the distances are too long. It'd be boring. Okay, he's running through another cornfield. Great. I've seen that.
Well, you could keep playing "Everyone's a Winner, Babe." That's all right.
That is a jam, by the way. The name of that band, Hot Chocolate. Everybody, Hot Chocolate. And their more well-known song is "I Believe in Miracles."
Oh yeah.
You sexy thing.
That's their bigger hit. That's a little known fact. Hot Chocolate, everybody. Thank you.
You could play that on a loop for like a strange amount of time. It'd be like still kind of like kicking it. You're like I don't know, it's like 6 a.m. and you're like kind of drunk and like kind of nodding out, but like you're still kind of everyone's a winner, babe. That's all right.
That's more or less it. There's more stuff coming up, but yeah, we got a couple of videos coming up before the tour in October. Come out to those shows if you're in any of those places, and if you're not, I don't know. I guess I'll see you next year. Kristina, what do you got?
I'm starting a Dark Shadows podcast. Morning in Collinwood. Me and Lumicast. He was very interested. He's like, okay, because if there's one day of the week where everyone's like, I am so excited, it's Shadow Saturdays. And for those who don't know, Dark Shadows was a 60s gothic soap opera. It took a lot of inspiration from like Emily Bronte. Then it went into like Dracula, Frankenstein, Picture Dorian Gray territory. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna he literally came up with a whole like base of what we gotta do and stuff like that. Very smart. We're doing a bit of a soft launch on Friday just to see our chemistry and all that. I think we're gonna do well. And we're gonna be breaking down like every freaking episode, probably every week. It's gonna be exciting.
Well, and for the alert listeners of this show, know you've been going through them all for like it feels like at least a year, right? I mean, because that show ran for a long time.
We're done with the Leviathan cult storyline. We're now into a parallel time where the East Wing, a completely different version of the family, lives. And Barb.
See, I feel like I'm on the podcast already. I feel like I'm your first guest.
Exactly. So we're
and I didn't do my homework.
Down. I'm gonna contact whoever's still alive from the show. Maybe we'll do like interviews and stuff like that. Like I got ideas. I'm also in a bunch of Dark Shadows Facebook groups to try to help, because I'm gonna need you two's helps for the intro. It's gonna be fun.
Aaron Sorkin's the East Wing.
I
already said I'd write you a theme song. So yeah, happy to do it.
Yeah, I'm excited, and of course I've been streaming on Twitch, still doing what I do best. I've also been on TikTok a lot, because I'm lazy and it's easy.
I'm so sorry.
I know, it's weird. It's weird what goes viral, what doesn't go viral. I mean, I literally post like TikToks where I'm literally like, the camera's like, just sees this, and everyone's like, yeah, I did TikTok. I responded to someone's comment on TikTok. Yeah. Someone said that Christopher Nolan makes his female characters into sex dolls, and I responded to with because you can respond to comments with a video, and I have started a discourse on TikTok in the comments of that because everyone's like, "What the fuck is this comment they're talking about?" Over 5,000 views, and I'm like, what did I do?
And I'm saying, what the fuck is this commenter talking about?
I'm on this show and I'm flabbergasted what this is about. Yeah,
I'm looking at the TikTok and some of the comments, and I'm like, what? Fucking, I'm just, and then I did a TikTok about Killing Murphy being asked to play Lord.
Are you playing her off, Forrest? Are you like doing the Academy Award thing? You're playing her off with the plugs.
Like it's so, like, oh my god, everyone's like, why can you not give us context? I'm like, TikTok. You want context on TikTok?
Everyone's a winner, baby. That's
anyway. In summary, follow Kristina on TikTok. Apparently,
think about it. If you're doing your like Oscar speech, or Adrian Brody or whatever, and then instead of playing you off with like whatever, they're like, everyone's a winner, baby. That's all right. He's not getting through his 7-minute speech. It's background music. That's why they're able to keep getting through their speech and yelling over the music. But if it's something like that, it's catchy. Adrian Brody's not remembering this whole.
Adrian Brody's gonna be like, this song does kind of go. Actually,
yeah.
So Now we know Warner
right.
Brothers is going to be doing Oscar campaigns for films like Sinners, Weapons, and stuff like that. So we got to get on that for Oscar season. We got to get back and be torn on. We got ideas. I got ideas. We got.
guys
and his less
great.
successful brother Michael C. Jordan. You know.
I mean, we were early with the Sinners coverage. We were like the earliest show I can think of. Not that that gets us a merit badge or anything, but.
And I'm excited to join the cult of Jimmys. Okay, let's go.
All right.
I'll never join the cult of Jimmy's. It's a scam. They want you to put rubbers on because it feeds big condoms.
All right.
The one in the UK.
Just because there's no after party tonight doesn't mean we need to do it.
White
in
boys
okay?
are gonna have a field day this Halloween, y'all. I can feel it.
Everyone's a winner, baby. That's all right.
Marta, what do you got?
Me, what do I have? Nothing, just same old on Rewind and Revive. I'm publishing probably the biggest essay that I've written for the publication on hopefully Thursday, if I don't go crazy reading it over and over and over again. And then hopefully some podcasts soon. One person doing it all. So when I can, I do.
It's hard relatable for me.
Yes. So that's kind of it. Yeah. I mean, if people want to follow along, I have rewindandrevive.com for written stuff, and that's the name of my podcast as well. Unoriginal.
I'll throw the website into the
thank you.
description of this episode.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed all the episodes that I've heard. I've enjoyed all the pieces that I've read. Yeah, all three.
No,
of them.
I do urge you to read the essay, not because
I prefer it
not
that
because
way.
I wrote it, but because I think the filmmaker's really cool. It's Paul Becchioli. Nobody's talking about him, and he was a very crucial figure to French cinema. So
I barely even know who he is, so I'll definitely read it.
Noah Baumbach know this?
Exactly. They got to have another kid so they can name it after.
Hey,
Noah Baumbach.
Paul and Roman.
got 3 sons, okay?
Noah Baumbach
We only know David.
downplays it and is like, "Oh, if you're saying that's what my movie is like, I guess I'll take it."
Romer, they can't be compared to Truffaut. There's worse things in life, you know.
Someone said this reminds me of Manhattan, and he's like, "Oh, if you're saying that, I'll accept that." It's like, dude, you know you did. Just part of it was the impetus of wanting the movie compared to that.
Romer is a cool
I wouldn't have said it myself, but since you're saying it, I do like responding to like people's compliments if they ever get like with that being like, well, I would never say that about myself.
Now that you mention it.
Yeah. But Marta, do you have final thoughts for Frances Ha?
I love it. It was it kind of my idea? Not really. It was one of the ones that we almost did.
It was in your draft. Yeah, it was the final 4, I think.
It's funny that we went from World on a Wire, which is like objectively one of the most complicated movies ever, to Frances Ha. So yeah, thanks for
we did Lost Highway too, though.
Oh yeah,
we did Lost Highway.
I think people needed an explainer for World on a Wire because that episode actually is done pretty well. Like,
oh really?
Yeah,
I think we're maybe the only show to ever do an episode on it. Probably. Wow. I mean, maybe one in German, but yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, who dares? Cool. We do. We are the ones who dare.
I'm glad. Well, yeah, no, thanks for having me, guys. This was, I mean, it's a movie that I love. I still love, like I said at the start, I love it even more now, interestingly enough. I'm really curious how I'll feel about it in a decade. So, yeah.
It'd be funny if in a decade it's your least favorite movie. You're like, she's made all bad decisions.
I think it's really judgmental about it, yeah.
By the way, we were, I think it's a lot of movies that we've covered, but we were talking about Michael Ballhaus, who did the World on a Wire, and like, how many like random movies he's
everything.
He's every Scorsese movie, pretty much every Frank Oz movie, every John Sayles movie. Like
he did a really good. It was John Sayles. Yeah. Baby, It's You. I think.
Which I just got Letterboxd challenged to watch, and it's one of the only John Sayles movies that I haven't seen.
Baby, It's You. It's great. It's excellent. Yeah. I just saw it.
Better be. It's going to cost me $4 to rent it. So
he did the cinematography for Bram Stoker's Dracula, which
he did everything.
Yeah, that's cinematography goes canonically. Listen to our episode. We talk all about it.
Kristina, final thoughts on Frances Halladay.
Yeah, boy, did I was like, "This is me. Oh my god, relatable. Oh my god, relatable." Why,
Oh, you were the one that wrote all
like,
those letterbox reviews.
Right, exactly.
Exactly.
The thousands
Exactly.
of exactly the same thing.
Exactly. If you're someone who's going through like a mid-century crisis or whatever, like like
A mid-century?
watch this movie.
Are you already a vampire from Dark Shadows?
Yeah, seriously.
A mid-century
I mean-
crisis. This is the 1950s, and you're like,
Don't be getting your
Here's the
tattoos or buy a red Corvette or take up bungee jumping up or something. Watch this movie before you make any drastic decisions. about your life.
is a mid-century crisis what David Lynch had? Is that
Yeah, I think so. If you can believe it.
If you can believe it.
the
But yeah,
50s?
But yeah, I mean, I love this movie. Like, I was like, this hits too close to home, but I sure did love it.
Was this your first time watching it?
No,
You've seen it
I
before.
when Lady Bird came out, I was like, I didn't know she acted at first. So I was like, okay, let me watch some of her films where she acted. I'm like, okay, this is really good.
Mhm.
It was, I don't know, it was
Yeah.
hitting so close to home, and then literally they're like, the end is like Poughkeepsie, New York, and I'm like, okay, who's fucking with me right now?
Yeah, who's messing with you specifically? Right, exactly.
She's really
Yeah.
good in Mistress America as well.
yes.
Which we didn't mention,
absolutely.
weirdly enough. But
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
I watched that when I watched this. I think it was a back-to-back thing. I was like watching. I was trying to watch as many movies of Noah Baumbach as I could around our Kicking and Screaming episode. Pretty sure.
Yeah, so if you
That's
want to go down like the mumblecore, like learn about that, watch
Which
this
everybody
movie.
in Bubblecore is like, that's not a real thing. Don't call him that.
Yeah. Oh well.
Well, that's what happens if you don't name your own genre. Sorry.
Everyone's a winner, baby. That's all right. Conan Neutron, host of Protonic Reversal and Movie Night Extravaganza. What's going on with the final thoughts of Frances Ha?
No, I mean this is frivolous but sweetly frivolous, right? It's like I said, you don't see a lot of in your 20s coming of age movies, but I think this is a really good one that is somewhat self-aware, very art house feeling, but it's delightful. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's kooky, it's self-conscious, it's endearing. It's a messy path of self-discovery, just like being in your 20s.
Yeah.
I think this isn't just for people in their 20s. I think this is for anyone that's young and young at heart both. And I think Greta is a force in here. She's it's a delight to spend time with this idiosyncratic, bizarre, and initially naive woman who just has this journey, and it's you really get a feel for it, and it's very moving, and she's capricious, and it's such a strange and uncertain time that through most people's lives. There's so many great sequences here for anyone that's into movies, and we mentioned most of them in there. It's very nuanced and studied, and look, it works, and it's the type of movie we don't get a lot of. And I think it's wonderful that because of her notoriety with Barbie, that some people are going to backtrack and find out, yeah, she's actually a great actress as well, not just a great director. And she's wonderful at both of those things. And that's awesome. And honestly, a joy, because we talked about doing this when we did Kicking and Screaming. That was, I feel like 100,000 years ago that we talked about that movie. Great to finally talk about it.
Was that even episode 100 yet? I feel like
I don't even remember. I'd have to look. Yeah. But what I will say is I watched it for the first time after that episode. So I did not like see this movie when it came out. I have a weird hole in my movie viewing habits that basically spans about like 15 years where I was just doing heavy touring and not paying any attention whatsoever to movies. And I spent most of 2020 kind of catching up on that. So I didn't see this when it came out. Exactly. If that's your criteria, sure, man. No, this movie's fantastic. I think it's got a lot of heart. I actually liked it better on rewatch, and I already liked it a lot.
What I'm saying,
it's so fucking good, and like it comes in at like a crisp 80 minutes too. It's like how often do you really get that?
That's the type of movie that turns Conan Neutron on for sure.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong about that.
Undateable.
What are we doing next week? Amadeus. So much for that. Anyway, yeah. it's gonna be great. By the way,
so hard pivot. Which we're not doing an after party because Conan's got things.
I gotta
to do.
go.
But
sorry.
But yeah, hard pivot. We're doing Amadeus next week.
Yeah,
and
then we're doing Annette, also featuring Adam Driver, which is also long as hell too. That's another Crocs movie. Actually, it's the first Crocs movie I've ever done on the show.
Wow.
And luckily it's the most insane one.
And then we're doing Fedora the movie. Fedora the Explorer.
We're doing a trilogy.
We're starting our month of witches. We're doing a month of witches. Ooh. So that's going to be very exciting. We got Eileen Jones coming out for that, right?
I got to say witch, please. Witch. But yeah, this was a nice easing back into
palate cleanser.
After a week off.
There's nobody with a lightsaber in this one.
Honestly, I mean, me too.
Although there was someone who played
Adam Driver
was. All right.
It all comes back to Star Wars.
I do like. Yeah, I like the idea of Kylo Ren being having his lightsaber and being like being like Jay Leno. What do you think about him?
Right, exactly.
He's talking about how he's on a motorcycle. He's like, but you're on a motorcycle. And it's like, go away, Kylo Ren, fucking weirdo.
Go podcast about it, Kylo Ren.
Yeah. By the way, Kylo Ren.
You know what? He should have just podcasted instead of.
Kylo Ren would absolutely have the worst podcast.
Dude. Okay.
He's just up at like he's up at 7 a.m. podcasting and like horny as fuck, and he's like, he's like I'm getting in touch with the Force, and I have an issue with my dad, Han Solo, and it's like, get the Kylo, get the fuck out of here! Like, what are you doing? He's forcing you to listen to his podcast because it's like in the ship, and it's the only thing that he has. Like, he's like, oh no, I don't have a way to plug in your phone to listen to any music. You have to listen to my podcast.
It's being broadcast on the Star Destroyer.
Or he has Ray where they have the mental connection,
and
but he's
Domhnall Gleeson just like, oh god, do we really have to listen to this?
But he's only playing his podcast through the connection to her head, like instead of she's like, stop! But you've played 20,000 episodes of your podcast. He's like, oh, I have 20,000 more.
Appreciate that we got an after party's worth of nonsense out of the way at the end of the show, but
yeah,
Marta, thank you so much for your endless patience and coming on this show. We appreciate you.
It's
good to have you.
Yes.
I've only slept 3 hours since Sunday, so
yeah, you don't say. Okay,
that's gonna be me as well. If I don't get out of here, I gotta go.
Word.
All right. Well,
it has been fun.
This is technically season 9 of Movie Night Extravaganza. Coming in strong. Next week, Amadeus. Thanks so much for joining us, Marta. And this is
rock me, Amadeus.